here. It's big, and it's closer than you think. It's not a tournament. It's what you don't see on TV. The cash is real. The stakes are high. They bet big. They win big. They lose big. High stakes live action poker. Live at the bike. Watch it live on the web or play it if you dare at the Bicycle Casino right here in Los Angeles.
Hello everyone and welcome to another episode of Live at the Bike, brought to you by the Bicycle Casino in Los Angeles, California, the first and only webcast of real action cash game poker. My name is Bart Hansen and I am joined, of course, by the poker babe Shirley Rosario, and we are going to be doing our Wednesday night whale game.
Right.
The blinds for this game are 50 and 100. We're playing No Limit Hold'em. It's a $5,000 maximum buy-in restricted game. After the second rebuy, that's on the third rebuy, you can rebuy for 10, and then each subsequent rebuy after that, you can rebuy for 20.
Right.
So this game is going to play very, very big, and we've got a couple of players that don't normally play in this game. So without further ado, let's get to the action, and let's go around and introduce the table.
Okay, in seat number 1, we have Moses Lopez, also known as Diablo. In seat 2, we have Yosh Nakano. In seat 3, we have Mo Fatpour.
Mo is taking a shot at the big game. This is going to be interesting.
Okay, in seat 4, we have Seth Norden. Oh, looks like seat 5 is empty. And in seat 6, we have Hassan.
Or seat 7, whichever card
He's
window he uses.
He's in between right there.
Yeah.
Seat 8 is Bruce Parker. And then we have Mike Wu in seat 9.
I think that Hassan might be a little bit steaming from some of the action that I saw out there for the last half hour.
Right. Yeah, this game started about an hour ago.
Yeah, he's straddling seat 6 and seat 7, so bear with us. Looks like the first hand of the night here, seat number 4, Seth. He has the nut flush, King 8-5 of hearts. He has Ace Queen of hearts. There we go. And seat 8 bet 1,200 here with Ace Jack of diamonds. That's Bruce. He has absolutely nothing. And Seth is going to check raise here. The minimum. Again, Seth has the nut flush. And is Bruce just going to make the call with Ace Jack?
I know a lot of ladies, they have France everywhere, but not a men.
He's asking how much.
It's almost 9, yeah. Ladies...
Well, we're just entering the game, so Seth might not have many chips, and Bruce is drawing dead. It's always nice to have someone drawing dead against you. Wow, he's going to make the call here with Ace Jack. Again, we popped in the middle of the hand. Don't really know what the pre-flop action was.
Right.
Exactly the same. I took his stack and moved it over here. Yes, he's going to owe $1,000.
But we know that there's at least
This is his stack.
$4,800 here on the flop. 24 and 24 from each player.
1,200. He bet. Let me just tell you. He bet 1,200. He raised it 1,200. He called the 1,200. Now I'm going to get to this stack and have him put $1,000.
No, that's not a bet. I asked him what he had.
That's all. You're not putting the 1,000.
Well, we're having some a little early controversy.
Yeah,
here.
because Bruce asked how much more it was, and it was 1,200 more, and they told him 1,000, I think.
Yeah, and I think that Seth thinks that all his money should be in there, but it's not going to count. And now that Bruce knows what Seth has, he's going to muck. And Seth takes it down with the flush. So, again, I think that Seth thought that Bruce pretty much had all his money in, but it was actually it looked like maybe a couple of stacks of purple, maybe $500 to $700. The white chips in this game are $100 chips. The purples are $25 chips. Brown chips are $500. Big green ones are $1,000. And if you see a light purple one, it's a $5,000 chip. And again, I have been looking forward to this game all day because Mo is playing in C3.
Right, and that's a treat. Normally we don't see him on this game.
Yep. This is going to be interesting.
You say 1,200. He makes the second nuts on the river. Oh my goodness.
Blinds for small one.
Wow. Can I look at my cards first? I'm getting so bad that
So the button here is going to be in seat 9, and Again, just give us a couple minutes here if the names are in the wrong... No? Okay.
We have them right.
Okay. Players are shuffling around. Hassan is going to raise it up here to 400. 4 times the big blind. He's got king 8 offsuit. And Mr. Diablo, of course, we know him from the Friday night games, the 10-20 games. He's an action player. And he makes the call with... Oh, no, he's not. He's going to muck it. Looked like he was going to call. Boy, that's a big laydown for Diablo, I got to tell you.
Is it?
Yeah. Diablo likes to play a lot of hands. And we might have a special guest coming in. Guest, but meaning live at the bike. People who've been watching live at the bike for a long time. We might have an old Friday regular come into this game. You know, might spice the game up. We'll get to that in a couple of minutes.
I'm okay with it.
Raise to 400.
Diablo has the button.
Hassan raised there to 400.
Yeah. And Bruce Parker calls. King 10 raises. King Queen Cole calls. And Diablo on the button's got pocket jacks. It looks like he's going to re-raise.
Gentlemen, you notice how he said raise it and I held my hand?
Looks like 1,000 straight, so 800 more.
Yes.
I think it was 1,000 more. They pulled the 400 in. 1,000 more.
And yeah, I think
Bruce makes the call.
Everybody,
either 800 or 1,000 more.
It was 1,000
picking
more.
up the dinner, but
Queen 9-7 here on the flop, and Bruce out-flops him. And where's the action? Diablo's going to bet here. And Bruce check raises all in. He's going to check raise all in. And how much does Diablo have left?
There's quite a bit there.
Yeah, maybe a little more
Is
than
it
a stack
one stack
of white.
or 2 stacks?
And he has a $1,000 chip we're getting word of, too. He actually, look at that. He's got a purple chip. He's got 7,000 in front of him. So the pot right now with the, the flop action, yeah, there's a $5,000 chip there, and I think he's got a green. Or maybe 5,000 plus 2,000 stack of white, so it's like 7,000.
Ooh,
And look
he's
at this,
making
he
a
makes the call. It was about a $2,000 to $3,000 raise, check raise there, and Diablo quickly calls with jacks, and he's in big trouble. He's going to need to spike a jack here, and it doesn't come. And Bruce Parker takes down a big pot. Looked like he check raised him. Yeah, again, maybe 3,000 to 4,000 more there. And Diablo quickly called there with the purple chip, and this is going to give you a quick insight to some of the action that we're going to see here at the table. What a big pot to start off the night.
Yes.
Probably well over $10,000. Incredible. You know, it would be different if Diablo only had, I guess, a couple hundred more. But he had 7,000.
I know.
Wow. Of course, if you want to follow a live thread that started on the internet, you can go to 2plus2.com, spelled out. Click on World Poker Tour and other televised tournaments. The official live at the bike thread for October 5th. You can also email us at live@thebike.com. Pot is limped around here.
4 players.
4-way action, which means there's $400 in there. Jack 9-4. A couple people have jacks. Mo has a jack. He has Jack 8. And Hassan, he's going to bet 400 with Jack 7.
Raise.
And look at this. Mo's going to check raise here.
800.
Looks like he made it the... It looks like he...
He raised 800 more.
It looks like he threw 800 out there. I think he
He
raised
put
the
4 in
minimum.
the front, and then he put 8 in the
The
back.
turn is a 9.
800.
And he's going to bet 800 here, and Hassan quickly calls. Now, Mo has him out-kicked right now. Out the river is a 10. And unfortunately for Mo there, if Hassan makes the call, this one's going to get chopped up here. And Hassan does make the call. And chop it up there. Jacks and 9s with 10 kicker. A little bit unlucky there for Mo on the river.
Yes.
So a check raise on the flop.
I told Mo to get me in there. I don't know.
800 more. Hassan quickly called. He led on the turn. Hassan called. Bet on the river. Hassan called. Chop it up.
Yeah, we're there.
And they end up chopping, I think, $200 of other people's money.
I think, yeah.
Or $200 or $300.
Doubled up Bruce, Spectre.
Got me even. Small blinds.
Yeah. One day, don't worry, Francisco. One day will be my day.
Today's not over.
Huh?
I give it back easy.
Did you win that tournament that day?
So what kind of action did you see go on with Hassan before this broadcast started?
I think he's either in for 1 or 2 rebuys, I think.
Okay.
I don't want
Yeah.
to chop it. 'Cause I don't
And
like
Diablo's
the
picked
map.
up pocket kings. He's going to make
But I
it
still,
400 to go.
Raise to 4.
Bruce Parker looks like he's going to call here
Give me again.
2
with
players.
ace 10,
I got a big
and
hand.
we're heads up. Well, that's not going to be a problem for Diablo.
Don't check
Queen
it this time,
8,
bet it.
6. Bruce Parker checks. Diablo's going to bet 800. And Bruce quickly mucks.
Nice hand.
And there you go. Diablo takes it down.
Big one, Diablo.
Yeah, Diablo's going to be in the big blind here.
No, today he has a meeting for 3 hours. He can't make it.
Yeah, and Bruce Parker was in the big blind last hand. I was trying to figure that out. Playing a little bit short.
He comes here for
Even that
2
one?
hours. Freeze out.
Oh, yeah.
$1,000.
Where's Frank Hong tonight? Working?
Working.
Doesn't he know works for poor people?
Got a muck.
300.
And Hassan looks like he's raised to 300. We can't see what he has.
2 players.
Ooh.
7-3 offsuit. And Diablo calls in the blind with 5-10. It's actually Hassan with 7-3 against Diablo with 10-5. $600 bet there by Hassan, and Diablo looks like he's going to call with the open end and straight draw. The turn is a 4. Diablo's still good with 10 high here.
I know, that's a tough call to make, though.
16.
He checks, and Hassan's going to bet 1,600. And now Diablo kind of is on the short stack because, you know, he lost all that money to Bruce before.
Right. And he has about, I think he has about 32.
And look at this. He's going to push the rest of it in here.
Come on, Hassan. I told you I was going to see your hand.
And Hassan mucks
He mucked,
quickly because
yes.
he's got 7-3. Unbelievable action here to start off the night. Wow. Man, this is going to be fun here, you got to say.
Damn, not
Because,
mine.
I mean, you can kind of tell that Hassan's steaming just from what we've seen of him the last 3 or 4 weeks. I
Right,
don't
that's
know
what
if
I
I've
was
ever
going
seen
to
him
say.
play a
He's
hand
been
like
playing
that.
pretty solid the last few
Yeah.
times we've seen him.
Yep. Absolutely.
Small ball, Diablo. Raise to 3.
Firing tonight.
And Hassan, this time,
He has the goods.
yep, he's got pocket aces and he makes it 300 to go. Diablo's going to call with a queen jack. And Yosh is in there. He needs to show us his cards in seat 2.
C1 is Jack.
Yosh
Jack
has got
four.
jack 4. Wow. Flop comes 10, 8, 6, couple diamonds. Both people check.
They're all on tilt tonight.
And Hassan bets with the overpair.
You, Hassan.
800.
Federales.
$800 bet here.
You know the Federales?
Trying to steal.
And it looks like he's going to take it down there
Federales
They're
is
the police.
with the
you're
overpair.
in the hands of the law. You got no rights.
Well, it's nothing like thinking that people thinking you're on tilt there and, you know, you picking up a premium
They're gonna
hand.
get you
Right.
on the- they're gonna-
That's always nice.
Going back in.
They're gonna get you in the middle of.
Although nobody hit anything, he really didn't get, win much money on that pot.
Yeah.
Yeah, you do, but not when they get
Well, you know, a lot of people, again, we know Diablo pretty well here on the show, are not going to call a $1,600 turn bet with 10-5 offsuit with the board
Well,
queen
okay,
jack
we got to
9.
give him a little bit of credit.
He did check
moved.
raise.
He
You're right.
moved in.
You're right. He did.
You seen it?
But I mean, the pot at that point was so big,
If
and
Hassan had
didn't
any
have
part
any
of it,
chips.
he would have
Yeah.
had to call.
Exactly. Exactly. I mean, in essence, he did check raise, but in this game, because of the nature of the short stack, the check raise really doesn't mean anything because
Yeah, right.
You're not
Well,
gonna
unless
get-
in that case, if
Yeah.
the person's holding absolutely
has
nothing.
nothing, which you would have won in that showdown anyways with 10 high. Got a $300 raise here by Hassan,
By Hassan, he's not stopping.
Thank you. I like that now.
and it
now
goes
you-
check check.
Now you're my friend. I like that.
8-10 suited against 9-10 suited. Now the turn is a king, and now Diablo's picked a flush draw up, and Hassan's going to bet. He bets 600. Remember, Hassan checked the flop. Diablo checked behind him. Diablo's picked a diamond draw up here on the turn, and Hassan has bet. And once again, Hassan has nothing.
City of God.
And again, a tough call. 9-10, he's got a diamond draw. Queen would give him a straight.
600.
He's got shot and a flush draw.
Oh, now you got the wrong guy. You got the wrong.
And you wonder how long it's going to take for people to adjust to Diablo's play.
Yeah, really.
Now, Hassan's going to have to fire here again if a card, comes that doesn't help anyone's hand. And Diablo calls. And let's see the river. The river's a 9. And Diablo, and look at this thing. And Hassan checks.
You said he was going to have to fire there. I think if he fired there, Diablo would have called.
Well,
with a
I
pair of
know.
nines.
I was
Yeah.
going to say, he had to dodge a card that Diablo didn't hit. Now, in this case, if he had fired, Diablo probably would have called him.
Right.
And it gets checked down, and Diablo's going to turn it over. 10-9 of diamonds. Wow. And Hassan is dumbfounded. And I think we're going to see these two go head-to-head all night long. And it's going to be interesting when, if and when Hassan hits that third rebuy level and he gets to bring 10,000 onto the table. And then if and when he hits each subsequent rebuy, which is 20,000 on the table.
The third rebuy is
10,000.
Oh, I thought it was 5 and then 10
Well,
and then 20.
rebuy, the third buy. The third buy. Yeah,
Oh,
third
okay.
buy. Semantics.
Well, you know me.
He always likes to say,
And I don't know if we have confirmation how many times Hassan has rebought, if it's been once.
raise it. And raise 400.
And Hassan has raised here out of the blind. He's in the big blind. He's got pocket 10s. Makes it 400 to go. Bruce and Diablo, ace-9 and ace-jack.
You guys are sick, you know that?
He bet 4, I called. It's up to you. Hurry up.
I'm gonna have to raise you guys.
Oh, my. Did he say I'm going to have to raise you
He
guys?
did say that.
Bad boy. Raise it. How sick these guys are.
Oh, he gets rid of it. Wow. Another
Didn't he?
pre.
He called with Queen Jack.
Yeah.
He mucks Ace Jack.
Yeah. Here comes the flop. King 4-3. And Hassan checks, and Bruce checks right behind him. And wow, they check again. And the river's a deuce, and Bruce gets there with a wheel. Hassan never put any money in there, and he allowed Bruce to get there, and he got there with the ace.
Yeah. I'm surprised he didn't bet the turn.
Yeah, it is a little surprising. You figure when Bruce checks behind you on the flop.
On the flop, your 10 probably good.
Yep. And again, I don't know if Hassan has ever lost on Live with the Bike before.
Oh, the idiots.
Federales, oh, believe me, you have over there. I'm gonna.
I guess Mike is Mike Wu there? You just haven't seen him play any.
When you're in
Seat 9.
Tijuana, you're from.
He's eating, so inherently
Yeah.
I guess you tighten up.
I don't have to worry no more.
That's what they say.
Yep. Got a couple limpers here.
Raise it.
But Hassan can't stand it. He's got to raise.
He makes a raise out of the small blind. Ace 4 suited. There are 3 aces out here. Ace 10, ace 4, and ace 9. Yoshi's got a little suited connector. 4-way action. $1,600 pot.
2,000.
He made it 400 or 500 there?
He raised 400. It was a $500 bet.
1,200.
Now he's going to bet 1,200. And Yosha's got a flush draw and an open-ended straight draw. He's got a huge draw in seat 2. 5-6 of clubs. He also has a straight flush draw. And he's going to come over the top all in. Now Hassan has a pair with the ace 4, and Hassan
he
quickly
calls.
calls. We're talking about $5,000 here, and this is going to be another huge hand. And are
This
they going
game's
to
out of control.
run it multiple times? And Yosh says he's a huge favorite, and he actually is. He is a favorite.
Yes or no? I don't care.
And they've looked at each other's cards, and of course in this
And now
game
they're
you can run it
deciding whether they're
multiple
going to run
times.
it multiple
If
times.
you guys gonna run it up to there.
One,
And I think they're going to run it multiply him. So the turn is a jack, and the river is a 3. So Yosh wins that one, I believe, with
Yes,
the
he
straight.
makes the straight.
There's
he
a
wins that one.
flush. He wins the second time. And I guess we're going to... Oh, just
That's
going to
it,
run it twice. And Yosh wins them both. Now, for people that are unfamiliar with what just happened there, in big no-limit games, they'll run the cards multiple times. And however many times they run the cards, they'll split the pot up into that fraction. So if they run it twice, they'll make 2 pots of equal size. If they run it 3 times, they'll make 3 pots of equal size.
Right.
Whoever wins each time they run the cards wins
Gets
that
one
pot.
portion of it. Yeah.
Doesn't change the expected value at all. It just, I guess, lessens the variance. And Yosh won it both times.
I believe you guys not better losers than me, because I lose more.
And that's unbelievable. And let's see how much Hassan's going to buy in for now. Wow. I mean, he made the call with ace-4. Boom,
I know.
bang, boom. Real quick.
And like Yosh said, I mean, even if you know your hand is good, I mean, you might not be a favorite. You only have a pair of 4s, even if you're going against 2 overs.
I think Yosh gave him a $5,000 chip. So maybe this is only his... well, if it's his second rebuy, if you can buy him for 5 and rebuy to 5 and then rebuy to 10, we've already seen him rebuy once. So I think he can rebuy for 10, but he's only making 5. It's interesting.
All you have to do is they give you a $5,000 lunch.
And we'll see if we can get confirmation. But we did see him rebuy already once, and I could have sworn he rebought before the show started. So he could be upwards of being able to rebuy for $20,000 if you wanted to.
Right.
You should have just exposed card.
Exposed card? Okay.
Let me skip the big flag because I'm gonna eat this.
And I think we have a misdeal here.
It's a $5,000. Francisco, it's a $5,000 lunch. I gotta skip my flag.
So the player that we are expecting here, actually, between 7 and 7:30 is Jonas. So Jonas might be coming into the game. Mo said 90% between 7 and 7:30. Maybe we could get Dave Tuckman in the game, too.
That'd be fun.
It's frozen. It can't be that bad.
Why don't you put up the money for him?
Yeah. Dave's a rich man. Now Hassan's going to raise here again. He makes it 300. We can't see what he's got there in seat 7. Yosh and Hassan are both going to have to show their cards here. 10-7-6 rainbow. Hassan looks like he's got a queen 8. Yosh, we can't still see what he has here. Yosh has got king 9. And Hassan has bet here with the queen 8. And Yosh calls. $400 bet. The turn's a king, and Yosh picks up a pair. And it goes check, check. And the river is a queen, and now Hassan's picked up second pair. And Yosh is going to bet here.
15.
He bets 1,500, about the size of the pot, and Hassan mucks. Doesn't get involved when he hits the queen here. And it's a good laydown, because...
Especially if you're on tilt.
Yeah. So it is going to be interesting to see how Hassan adjusts to this
So
game.
David's playing the No Limit tournament.
Big Poker October,
Big Poker
$300
October.
buy-in tonight.
Right.
That tournament series is going on right now.
300.
Well, we got word that it was Hassan's second rebuy, which I think means he can buy in for 10, because it's his third buy-in, second rebuy. Seat 9 is raised here. Ace 8 of hearts. We haven't seen him play. Yosh is in there. Again, we can't see what he has. The turn is a deuce. He's got king 9. Yosh has top pair. Turn is a deuce. The river's an ace of clubs. And Mike Wu there backs into the best hand with the ace. It looks like river was an ace. And he takes it down.
My wife is not gonna change it from Red Lobster.
No.
So here now.
Yeah, I wasn't that impressed.
You know what I mean? Yeah.
This guy saw something wrong.
Pocket queens there.
Yep.
It's for Mo.
We haven't seen him play that much tonight.
My lobster was different than yours, right?
Well, he's already said.
They knew my lobster was bad.
Seat 9's going to make it 300 to go. He's got ace-7 of spades, and let's see what Mo does here in the small blind.
Raise.
Something was wrong.
He's going to re-raise.
After I ate it, she told me that.
No, they gave me another one. They gave me two already, but
So, you know,
Looks like he's making it 1,200 to go, so $900 raise.
I got a few million coming, you know.
And Mike Wu, he hasn't played that much either tonight.
No,
He's
he
gonna-
hasn't. He's going to go back to his dinner.
This is where I'm at before I come see you guys. Hey, Melvin, you gonna finally make breakthrough?
And actually, it's funny that there's always speculation as whether Diablo owns more than one of those Omega Plumbing T-shirts. Some people have said he doesn't, and I was like, well, that would be amazing. You gotta think he's got a whole wardrobe full of those things.
Hassan, I already told my wife, look.
Button now is in seat number 3. And that's Mo, and he's limped in with Jack-10 of diamonds. And he's going to be up against the blinds here. King 5 and Deuce 7. And Mo's picked up a flush draw right off the bat, 9-5-4. And Mo takes
They
a
all
card, he
check.
doesn't bet, and now he picks up a flush. And he checks it again. Third diamond up there. He's playing it slow, and the river's a 6. And now he's going to bet. Bets 400 here.
He tried to get action on this hand. He's not getting a nickel.
Nope, Seth doesn't call there. I mean, he's the only one really with the pair.
Right.
5.
Just getting information from you because you're the pro.
You know, unfortunately for him, if a diamond fell off on the river, would have been interesting. But he didn't get any action regardless.
Fucking bluff everybody else but you, Hassan.
Button now is in seat 4, and Mo is eating as well. And Hassan is going to raise here again out of the small blind, it looks like. Can't see right what he has here.
It's only goodness. Strictly goodness.
Someone needs to smack these
I
players
know. it's
upside
tough
their
to put the
head.
cards over the window.
Show us your cards.
He's got King 9. He raised out of the blind with King 9. The flop comes Ace, Ace, Queen. And he's going to bet right in, and it doesn't look like anyone can call here. Yosh with the Jack Deuce, Bruce with the Jack Rag, I think it was.
This time, huh?
Hassan takes it down with King 9.
I got him calling me with Jack Deuce now, man. I like it.
Hassan, you had ace queen this time. Last time you had ace four.
But you got to think that these players will be prone to go on tilt if they, you know, encounter Diablo in some hands. You know, there's gonna be there's gonna be some heads-up action here going on for sure.
That'll be fun to see. Bring some excitement in this game, that's for sure.
His hand goes in the mug.
Although it hasn't been lacking tonight.
When I'm bluffing, he's already called.
That you kind of like, huh?
That's how he does it.
And Hassan raises again here. He had Ace 5 of spades,
Collection top players.
and he takes it down. Looks like we got a collection pot here every half hour. This is the first one of the night. The winner of this pot, if it's over a certain amount, will pay the collection for the
For the
table.
whole table.
That's pretty much how they do it in Yosha's game. And I'm not sure about the other collection games that go on here. It's not really often that you'll see a collection game here. Because
No.
we get rake games all the way up to 40-80, I think.
Right.
So
400.
Hassan
There he goes.
Raises it up. Well, he's got Ace Queen of clubs.
Yes, he does.
$400 raise.
Hassan, you're messing with my big blind now, Hassan.
First time I raised the blind.
Yoshi's got a King 8 of spades.
First time I
And
raised
he's going to make the call. So I think it's about an $800 or $900 pot here to the flop. Jack 6-4. Yoshi's picked up a flush draw.
All right, let's go.
Yosh checks, and Hassan checks right behind him. Turns a 3. And action is on Yosh, I believe. And he's going to bet. He bets 2,000. And wow, look at Hassan. He's reaching for chips.
What you got, Hassan? Don't
He's going to raise it.
Wow.
He looks like he's making it 2,500 more. So it's 4,500 straight. Yoshi's going to have to call 2,500 more.
What do you got with it?
Ace high? Are you serious?
And I think Yosh made the call.
Well, yeah, he did. He has a flush draw.
Yeah,
He's
he
getting
makes
priced
the
in by that
call.
time.
And we're going to see another $10,000 pot. And Hassan is good right now. He needs
is
to dodge
good.
some cards.
Should be doing it all the time.
Obviously, Yosh could pick up
An
a king, an 8, or
Or
a
a spade,
spade.
right?
Another $10,000 pot here.
Oh,
And
and
the
8.
river is an 8, and Yosh hits a pair, and they're going to run it again multiple times. The second time, Yosh makes
Yosh
a
wins
flush.
again.
And the third time, Hassan looks like he's
He
won with
wins.
ace high. So Yosh wins it 2 out of 3 times. Again, they run it 3 times. Yosh takes 2 out of 3.
There's no money in the pot, and you move in on with money.
And,
I put your thing high, Yosh. That's why.
wow.
Then I put you all in, I make him fold, and then I got you.
Well, that's got to be great when you lose pots and you get Diablo talking.
Yeah, really.
Yeah.
That's right.
15 years, right?
Of course, tonight is Poker Blues Whale Night. This game is sponsored by Poker Blue. If you go and play on Poker Blue, you can go to pokerblue.com. If you play 4 hours or more on any 1-2 limit game or higher, or any no limit game, you qualify for the Big Fat Weekly Free Roll that's held on Sunday afternoons. And the first prize for that, Shirley, is a WPT seat, a choice of a few tournaments, or a World Series of Poker seat next year in 2006, plus expenses. Or special treat for Live at the Bike viewers, if you make a deposit using the code BIKE in the deposit code field, you can use that win to play for a couple of buy-ins on this game.
Right.
Poker Blues Whale game on Wednesday nights.
No. We don't have to do it anytime. We can do it 8 times.
Yeah, you can own it.
I'm not running that. I'm gonna just.
Okay, we're going to run it once. We're going to run it once.
And Hassan has raised here again to 400, and he's kind of short now. And Bruce Parker calls, looks like with an ace-8 offsuit.
I said twice.
I said 3 times.
3 times is too much.
See what Yosh does. He has pocket
You guys
sevens.
do the same amount every
Why?
time. Why? Why?
Well, whatever we
So
decide.
we don't have to negotiate.
And now they're arguing about
How many times they're going to run
they were
it?
going to run it. Yosh makes the call
He
with
just
pocket
calls.
sevens. Oh, excuse me, he's going to raise. And you know what? I think what happened...
I think they're all on tilt.
Well, I think what happened last time was now we're getting word that there was a disagreement. Yosh thought that they were running it 2 times. Hassan thought they were running it 3 times, and obviously Yosh won the first 2 times, and Hassan won the 3rd time, and I think he's a little
Yosh,
irritated
yeah, well,
about
Yosh
that.
is saying if we're going to run it, let's run it the same every time.
Aaron.
Although that affects absolutely nothing. Before you run the cards, it affects it nothing the expected value. It just lowers the variance. Running it 2 or 3 times, the expected value is going to be the same. Again, because you're dividing the pot by the amount of times you're running it.
It's only yellow and blue, like 600 should be in red.
Yosh has sevens again.
Can you write that all up though?
$300 raise by Mike Wu in seat 9.
You're going to hire me as your marketing guy.
Yosh has got, like you said, 7 back
Okay,
to
here's what we
back.
do.
We've got 4-way action here, so it's a
If the ad
$1,200
doesn't
pot.
generate more than 50% of what this ad generated,
Jack,
the same
5
offer,
deuce.
I'll say
Set
I
of
have to do
5s for Mike Wu, the original raiser.
then you
For
start hiring
no,
your
that's for
marketing.
Diablo.
Or excuse me, for Diablo. And Mo has bet with 10-8 here. He's come out and bet 800 in Stone Cold Bluff. Let's see what Diablo does. He makes the call.
Sorry, I want to make it
He's
6.
just going to smooth call there with the set.
Because we're bad boys.
And Mo's in real bad shape there. The turn is a queen. And actually, Mo could catch a 9. And he's going to continue to bet. He's going to bet 1,500. Well, Mo knows Diablo really well. Unfortunately for Mo, he doesn't know he's up against a set.
Right.
And Diablo's going to check raise, and it looks like all in.
Mo can catch a 9, but I don't think he'll make this call.
What were you saying? I can't believe I played that bad or what?
Were you talking about you or
Another
him?
4,600 to him.
Yeah.
Well, actually,
You're referring to yourself.
he said that's some horrible card plan. And I,
When you
Looks like it's
45 more.
4,500 all in. And,
More, yeah.
Mo's going to
call
muck
when
it.
he had to call you.
I think you were talking about him.
No.
Oh, I had that pot watch.
He's on tilt tonight.
There you go.
You didn't know?
Diablo takes it down with a set of fives.
Really?
Well, you know, it's funny because we don't usually see Mo make those types of moves even in the 10-20 game these days.
You're my man.
I mean, he can beat this game just by playing it straight up, so I'm a little bit surprised.
Yeah, well, I mean, but he picks up a lot of pots by reading situations. He's very successful at making moves like that, knowing when to do it. It didn't work in his favor this time,
Yeah.
but I've seen him pick up a lot of pots with nothing.
That's okay. I had a nickname like
And we're going to see this pot. It looks like it's limped around here. Four-way action. $400 pot. Ace, 4, 3, a couple spades. Turn is a queen. Yosh picks up top pair now.
Well, top pair as far as the other players are
Second
concerned.
pair, yeah. Top pair in terms of the other players, and the
Yes.
river is a 4.
Please.
Is that right, Yosh?
Sure. Yeah, yo siguro pinakato.
You know what's going on? Is you're done, right?
You see what I mean?
And Yoshi, I think Yoshi's on the button. He's going to bet here. Now he
One
bets.
action, come on.
He bets 500.
I think we should make.
And everyone
How can
else.
you get action? No wine.
Next week we're gonna have live with the commerce.com.
No, you know what's going on?
A lot of them have smiles on their face, but I can feel the tension on this
Oh, they
table. I mean,
are,
they're just really going at
They're
it.
spoiling the girls because I only tip them $10, and it's not enough. So
Are you serious?
somebody is ruining the market.
You gotta be kidding me.
Me.
Are you serious?
That's what's
No, he's saying the opposite.
They don't come back for me.
Yoshi's
No,
saying
not
that
for,
some
only
people
for
are
Daddy.
over-tipping the
Right
poker
here for El
blue
Diablo.
girls.
Hey, you
That's
know
why
El
they're not
Diablo?
here.
Azam,
No wonder.
El Diablo, my girls, I always take care of them.
Same thing that's
Mo has the button this hand. This is some, yeah, you can cut the tension with a knife at the table right now.
I tell them I can give them everything, but except marriage.
Is it marriage?
Yes, that's the only thing I cannot offer them. Because El Diablo, you never heard of El Diablo being married.
And it looks like Hassan is going to raise
Hassan,
once
have you
more.
heard of
He's got the,
Devil being married?
I think it was the Ted Forrest hand, 8-3 offsuit. Or maybe Ted's was 8-deuce offsuit. And no one calls.
Te recomiendo a ti.
And boy, Hassan is just on a rampage right now. Not necessarily a rampage up, but he is pretty much raising with any two cards.
Me gusta que tú los tienes y aquí te da más lo que hace falta, esto y esto.
Look at what great service I get.
Guacha cómo los
But Stu, you're ruining it for all of us. Now, it's raising the bar too much. You're spoiling it.
el Six Mike aquí no atora.
Yeah, and I think that's what he was just talking about, that people were tipping the poker blue girls a little bit too much. Their market value was going up a little bit.
You would think that if someone was tipping them really good, they'd be here tonight.
I know. We got a raise there. I believe it was by Yosh.
My man, he plays.
He's got 9-7 offsuit, and Hassan's called him with 8-9 offsuit. Check on the flop. Neither player has anything here. Gets checked again here on the turn, and the river's an 8, and Hassan,
Now has the best hand.
yep, backs into a pair. He's gonna bet.
Huh.
7?
One day I'll do that.
That's a silly bet.
Yeah, well, and maybe he.
No, I don't think you.
Usually you would only bet that if you thought that your hand might not be good in showdown.
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah, these two are really going at it, Yosh and Hassan. And it's going to definitely be fun to watch.
no fair, no draw.
And I want to tell everyone, I have been playing the Poker Blue Big Fat Weekly free roll. It's pretty much the best free roll going on the internet. It's,
Well, you did some good checking.
you know, it's really something. You just play 4 hours of any 1-2 game or higher, and you're qualified. I think there was about 200 players last week. Seth is going to raise here with pocket 7s. He's going to take it down.
So the competition's getting a little steeper.
Yeah, there's more people on
Yeah,
there now.
because when I started, there was only about
That one
50.
belongs to El Diablo.
Good luck. I called you and had the best time.
Yeah, but if you can get mine back from him, I'll give you this one.
It's gonna be gone. It's gonna be gone. You might as well take it now, because you know what I mean.
I mean, I got to tell you, I love to see Jonas come into this game because now people who don't know about Jonas,
See, that's the way to do
we
it.
saw him in the first 3 or 4
He's my,
months
now,
live
he's,
and
he's
fight
my brother-in-law.
as Greg comes into the box now.
He's got a nice sister.
And he was a really strong player. I put him right up there with Mo, and he does this for a living at the high levels
When you called me, I
of
thought you had a
that little Madden tattoo. It looked like on the back of Seth's
Madden, I think it said made in.
Oh, made in USA. I thought Isaac was pointing it out there because it was like a Madden football tattoo, and that would be dedication. Actually, we're getting word that it says made in New York.
You don't wanna give.
But
me your
Jonas
50
plays this
bucks,
game
okay,
in a
I'll let you pick.
2040 unrestricted level, and he's a
I'll take it
really
for you,
good player.
Mike.
I'd
You're a
love
good
to see him
man.
mix up with some of these guys.
I have no clue who he is. Maybe when I see his face.
There's no shopping, but just give me
You
my
can
50.
shop.
Really?
Too late now.
2 of the blinds in here. Mike and Diablo.
Check.
Hey, yo, so that
Check on the flop. The turn
Oh
is
my
set.
goodness! Let me see the other 7. Oh shoot!
And Marcus on hold for 1 week, right?
100.
And Mike is going to bet 100 here with King High.
I got the other 7. How can you have
Take
another
the
7?
money if you got the 7.
I'm gonna bet you have that.
And Diablo and Mox. Mike actually has the best hand, but chances are that pot probably
Would be
would have
chopped.
been
You like it done on the way I have
And
to
the
look?
rabbit cam actually
River
shows a
was-
king. King. Wow.
I look around and I don't see any live ones. What does that mean, yo?
Small, big.
At the table? These are you.
Yeah, exactly. Right.
I'm the opposite. I always look around and I see.
So Mike Wu's got the button down, seat 9.
Yeah, yeah. Yeah, right.
I always get fucked up.
And it looks like this one's going to get folded around in the blinds again.
It's gonna be me and George, huh?
No.
And Diablo limps. Yeah. He completes in the small blind.
Okay. Okay, that's why I live. That's why I
500
show
more.
you.
Yosh makes it 500 to go.
There's
There's
the
the
sign.
tattoo. Yosh's got Jack 3. He makes it 500.
I know what you're doing, but I'm gonna.
And Diablo's got a lot of chips in front
500
of
to
him.
go.
500 more.
Take out 100.
I already did.
Take out 100. You do it.
And he mucks. And Yosh, look at that. He shows it too. He shows the
This
bluff.
is called Little Big Man. You know why?
Now you.
I got to tell you, Shirley. I mean, strap on your seatbelts. This is going to be good.
Years, 25 years ago.
These
Went
guys
for a
don't
ride.
necessarily know about
I'll give you
Diablo.
your flame
Name in that one is Jack Crab.
There's gonna be some huge hands here.
I'll
I
give
gotta.
you your, I'll give you
We
your,
got a recipe
now you're-
for probably some of the biggest hands in live bike history tonight. Mo has got the board.
400.
Had a queen.
400.
San's gonna make it 400. He's got King
It's a
5
more card than
suited.
yours. Come on.
Play that down.
Mike Wu calls with an
What
ace
happened
jack
at
off
Farm?
suit.
He's coming. Tony's coming.
Yosh has got pocket 4s. He makes the call.
He called me about
And we got a $1,300 call.
30.
Hassan, the original raiser, with King
He's
5.
going to be late, but he's coming.
10-9-7, couple of clubs. Looks like Yosh's hand is good right
He's
now.
checked all the way around.
Turns another 7.
Go with your service again. Huh? Mike, your service again. Your six, Mike. How can you raise me like that?
What should I do?
And let's see what Yosh does here.
Right bet. What's the right range?
Well, the pot is 1,300 there, Yosh. Thinks he's got the best hand. Let's see if he bets it here.
It's not as good as
And
the
he
last
is.
one.
16.
My wife, if I'm really
He's going to bet 1,600.
Best hand, I got King High.
my wife is gonna.
Oh, jeez.
And Hassan
Here goes. He's
Yeah.
pretending.
You ever think about your
Hassan says, I think I have the best hand. I have King High. He's telling the truth.
King Deuce? If I tell you I got King Deuce, you're going to call me in a second.
And Hassan gets rid of it. And Mike Wu is out of there. It was about a $2,900 pot, $1,600 to call.
You already bluffed twice. That's enough for you.
Why do you think I'm bluffing?
Yosh takes it down. I think Yosh and Diablo are the big winners so far tonight, Shirley.
Seems like
Pretty
it,
much at
yeah.
the expense of Hassan Habib.
Hassan, I don't bluff, right, Hassan?
Hassan's kind of giving his chips away.
Yeah, he's a little bit.
Yeah, like last time. He's King 10 with 1 to go.
You know what I hate one thing, Hassan?
You got one right.
Hassan?
You're going to get right sooner or later.
400.
Hassan, you know what I
One
hate?
right. I didn't even call you. I moved you in. With ace high.
I didn't bet enough. I should have bet more.
You bet 2,000 and a fucking 16, 15.
So Hassan has raised again. to 400. This time he's got 7-9
Right
offsuit.
after we're done, and we cannot get to see
And
it.
Diablo's going to call with Acey Deucey suited. And we're heads up. Hassan against Diablo.
I don't want to see my dad play.
5-3 deuce.
Me and you, oh my goodness. Have this flop.
Hassan checks. Diablo bets. And Diablo takes it down there. Hassan mucks. And he did have the best hand. The ace deuce was good.
Hassan, you're a nice guy. That's why I tell you. I'll show you, man.
Oh, this is going to be fun. There we go with the chip count. So Yoshi's got 16,500 and Diablo's got 10-4. Hassan's got about 3,000, and I guess we're...
But he's done a few
Yeah,
rebuys.
he
Yeah,
has.
Three buy-ins, I
We
think.
know for sure that next rebuy... Sometimes they change this thing up. We know for sure he can buy in for 10 next rebuy. So, and Mo's got 2,700 over there. So Mo is really on the short stack with $100 blinds. I mean, he
When you teach me, I'm not going to lose that
only
much.
got about,
400.
what, a little over 5 times the big blind.
3 players.
Or, excuse me, about 25 times the big blind.
There's
right
no
now.
better life. I'm in the old school.
Seat 7 raised here, and Hassan
And he
has flopped
flopped
it.
it. Yeah.
King,
800.
queen, Jack, 10-9. But Yosh has a flush draw.
And Yoshi's been hot on these flush draws. We might see these chips get in here again.
Now Hassan has bet. I think it was
I think
800.
there's a better school than
Yosh also, he's got a straight to the 8, but it would be no
Finally
good.
raised to an all-in bet.
And Yosh, I think he's moved all in. And Hassan's got the king of spades in his hand.
You can make it only 5,000.
Behind I want to play?
Oh, look at it. Look at it better. He
Well,
wants
I think Yosh has moved all in here. I don't know what Hassan is doing. If we're looking at the right board and the
We're
right cards.
seeing the cards,
Yeah.
right?
I think this is like a form of posturing, I think, Shirley, maybe.
I'm.
Well, okay. Up to how much can I say and you say okay?
They're talking about how much behind you want to play it.
Go ahead and call. Let's go.
Okay, I want to play 10,000 behind.
I think Yosh was asking how much do you want to play behind, but I don't
That's
think.
what he's-
Yeah, I think they're joking.
1,600?
And Hassan is
How
going
much
to
you want to
make
play
the.
behind you?
No, how many times do you want to run it?
He's going to make the
You're the man.
call.
How many
And
times you want to run
here
it?
we go again with the thing
How
about how
many
many times you
times?
want to run it.
What do you got?
You don't have a straight draw.
7 high?
I said you don't have a straight draw.
If he gets an 8, got a queen.
So King Queen is good right now. So how many times are they going to run it this time?
Well, we'll find out when they stick those cards up.
3 times.
3 times run it.
They're going to run it
Let's go.
3 times. So here we go.
1,
Turns a queen.
2.
There's a spade. Yosh wins the first time with the flush.
God, poor
This is
Hassan.
incredible. Yeah, remember, it can only
This
be
one
one
is the
spade.
favorite.
Only that's
Oh.
a spade. Now he has to dodge a spade because Hassan has the higher redraw.
That's right.
And Yosh wins again. And again, Yosh needs one spade and one spade only.
Gets me every time.
One
I'm
more
not
The
gonna-
spade.
turn is a deuce. Oh, the
Finally,
river's a 5.
Hassan wins 1 of 3.
And Yosh wins 2 out of the 3.
Oh, Hassan.
Yeah, that's it.
This time Hassan was the favorite. He just gets tortured.
Yeah, yeah.
You with more money, man, if you,
One spade exactly. That's what
you were
Yosh
willing to
needs.
put another 10,000.
Wow. Incredible.
I know. You see what I mean?
Yeah, no more, no less, huh?
Yep.
He's got the nuts.
You got
And
the
these
nuts,
guys are
he's got
really
the
jawing it out
money,
at each
he's
other.
got the
And
whip.
Yosh continues
I do hear the nuts.
to increase his chip stack.
Okay, here's a button.
Francisco.
And Diablo's on the hand, but he just is jabbering over there.
Yep. Like I said, he can't make you feel good when Diablo's jabbering.
No.
Either.
For a chip
Okay.
back.
Tú, viejo, aquí es donde-
What stock you want?
Does the guy who wants to commit suicide, does he want to do it right away?
Which stock do you want? Hey, Hassan, which stock do you
Do I
want?
want to take the small blind?
I asked you. He said yes.
But does
It's a
the guy
good
want
thing
to
Hassan
commit
couldn't pull out
suicide?
10 more
Do it right
thousand
away,
dollars.
just wait for 2 years.
Pocket aces here.
You know what I'm saying?
That's for Bruce Parker, seat
You know
8.
what I'm saying?
Yeah.
And Hassan's John at Greg the dealer now.
Me too, yeah. He's-
So
he's
Bruce
the
Parker's
kind of man
in the
that
big
wants to
blind.
miss, a small blind.
Now the button has a hand here, Ace Queen.
Hassan, yeah.
How much
Hassan,
tails? I got the best that you blocked me twice.
We could see
dude.
some
that's
fireworks.
why, that's why he don't
Diablo's
play
got
anymore.
King Jack. He chooses to limp in, and the button's going to raise to 400 with Ace Queen. Hassan mucks. Let's see what Bruce Parker does now.
You know what happens when you change it, Yosh? I'm going to hit the first one.
900. Putt's been re-raised.
And he's going to make it,
And then you know what
I
happens?
thought he
I
said
think he
9.
said 900. Yeah, 900.
Yeah, but
900 to go.
You're lucky.
4 and then 9.
Diallo says you're lucky there's people behind. He's not going to play.
I'm not afraid of you. I'm afraid of him.
And Seth makes the call. And Seth is in real bad shape.
Let's get a puñado.
So we've got about a $2,000 pot here.
I double him up. Let's break him.
6-5-3. Couple hearts.
Twice, 2 times, huh?
And he bets about the size of the pot there. Look, well, yeah. Looks like 2,000 there.
24.
2,400 to be precise. Seth's out of there. Bruce takes it down.
Bruce is sick. Look at that. I double him up. That's why I'm get him. That's one man I'm after. George. You see that double Bruce?
So Hassan is on the short stack, and again, from what Yosh told me, I'm almost positive that he can rebuy for 10,000 next time.
Mm-hmm.
Learning.
And at this rate, Yosh might just let him say, "Hey, you can buy for the full 20."
Buy whatever you want.
Yeah. Yep. Why not?
Let me see. They're already seen. Now I can see. Now we got some cocktails in here. What happened? Yeah, here I got some cocktails. Yeah.
5 players.
5-way action here, limped around.
I don't have a glass.
I do.
Here we go with the flop. 9-9-4, couple of diamonds. Yosh has a flush draw.
I need a glass, you know.
I'll take a little wine.
what happened to the glass?
I got a glass.
You got a glass?
If you guys,
500.
Can you go get me that glass?
And Hassan,
if you guys lose your glass,
gonna
you're
bet
not allowed
here.
to drink.
Porter.
You're right.
with 6-3, he has absolutely
No, I
nothing.
mean that you guys are already wasted.
What are you saying? He has 6 high.
And let's see what Yosh does with flush draw on a paired board.
George. If they lose their glass,
$500 bet. Well, it's nothing like bringing alcohol into the game as well.
1,500.
500, huh? All right, I'm going to raise.
And Yosh calls.
Pour some of that. Yeah.
Seth is out of there. Seth is playing a pretty
21
ABC.
total bet.
And actually, did Yosh go? Actually, Yosh went over the top. Oh, my. So he check raised. I was going to say, it wouldn't make a lot of sense for him to call there, but it's a little bit difficult for us to hear sometimes what's going on when he just puts the chips in there.
Under 2,500.
5,000. But if you lose, you can buy 10,000.
No, the first two
He's
buy-ins.
missing the blind.
First you buy 5,000.
First two buy-ins are 5,000. That's fine as 10. That's fine
And
as
under
20.
2,500 you can add it.
Yeah.
Either like 10,000 and 500 anytime.
I had 8 high.
400.
Favorite over you.
$400 raise there again by Hassan.
Raise it.
And Yosh is going to re-raise with ace-10. We can't see what Hassan has. Obviously, it's rags.
Yeah,
And he
a bunch
muffs.
of junk.
And Yosh re-raises with the ace-10, and Yosh just keeps coming over the top of Hassan. This is absolutely incredible. And he continues to increase his chip stack.
Big blind ball?
Now Mo is back here in the game.
You don't
C3.
have to show it if you throw it away.
Hassan mucks. Bruce Parker's got Jack 9 of diamonds. He calls.
We're playing tight tonight.
And we're going to see it limped around.
Players.
3 players.
3-way action.
On purpose?
Ace, queen, deuce.
Getting back.
Looks like Yosh has the best hand right now. Got checked around. The turn is an 8.
10.
Checked around again.
Ton of what?
And the river is a 10.
That give you a pair of cats.
And it still looks like Yosh is good here. 8 of diamonds on the turn. 10 of hearts on the river.
300 in the pot.
And Yosh bets again here.
Nice.
Or he's going to bet. From up front, it looked like.
I call.
Paul?
Straight.
Oh, and Bruce, Bruce backed into a straight there, Shirley,
He
with
sure
Jack
did.
9. Wow.
What did you just call?
I was going to say.
And he just flat
Yeah, he just
called.
called.
Maybe he had a bigger straight.
Unbelievable.
900 to 300.
Said he thought he had a bigger straight. Well,
That's sweet.
And like Hassan said, he bet $900 into a $300 pot. He didn't have King Jack.
yeah.
because he's just got too many chips. That's why he wants to unload
Wow.
them.
Actually, you know, that might be one of those times where
Where you
if
say those gross over bets.
Well, yeah, but if you raise, you might only get called by a hand that might be able to beat you. If Bruce raises there, there's no way Yoshi's going to call him. And remember,
True.
Yoshi checked the flop, he checked the turn.
That's true.
He could have just been stealing, so I can actually see why Bruce might just call there.
You don't think that a player would call if he only raised a minimum that someone with 2 pair wouldn't call?
No, I think, yeah, maybe if Yoshi had backed into 2 pair, you know, he may have called, but just the way the hand played out, I just don't buy it. I don't really buy it.
Okay, then I call. No, you can raise. Do whatever you want.
And we've got looks like a $300 raise
How much more
here
could I have gotten out of you there?
by Yosh. And Mo's going
Mo
to re-raise.
re-raise.
8-5 of spades. And Yosh quickly gets out of there.
He only had 10-8.
Yeah.
Okay, show it. You know
He did have the best hand. Oh.
No, he's talking
If he's
about the
talking about
previous
this
hand.
one.
Yeah.
I bet too late.
Straddle.
So when we talk about this being the Poker Blue Whale Night, it's a combination of whales and professionals.
Right.
And in actuality, I think there's only one whale at the table, right? Well, Diablo, actually 2. Diablo and...
And I'm not familiar with Seth.
Pot's been raised.
I think that Seth is a professional player.
Okay.
See if we can throw it that deep.
Mike Wu is going to bring this one in for 600. He's got 10-9 of clubs.
We've only played 3 hands tonight.
Folded around
Must
to...
have jacks, queens, kings, or aces.
folded around to Bruce Parker, and Bruce makes a call with 6-4
He says
diamonds.
you
Out of position. Yeah.
He says, you've only played 3 hands. You must have jacks, queens, or aces.
Hassan, you can't talk at the table.
So let me call with 6-4.
First with the signal.
Queen 7-6. And Mike bets there, and Bruce just gets rid of bottom pair. Mike Wu takes it down.
I had a 4 or 5 of diamonds.
And looks like we got a new player coming in to seat 5.
Okay, collection next time, fellas.
That is Dimitri.
But you can post in the
I
middle.
just sat down and he wants to take
There
mine.
you go.
No, you're out of the
You
collection.
don't. You're out of the collection.
You have to post 100.
So,
No, Hassan's in. You're big blind.
here's the big blind. Yeah, small big. Small here.
So new
And
player,
you can post
Dimitri
in
in
between
seat
if you
5.
like. Play the 100. Okay.
So he's going to come in for 5,000. We're getting word that he plays a pot limit game at another casino in town, and that he's an action player.
I've seen him before.
Yeah. So he's not really a whale either then, right?
I don't think so.
Yeah. Mo's going to raise here, it looks like. He's got ace-6 of diamonds.
He's paying for the. When are you going to get 2, 4, 6, $90?
And Hassan is pretty much all in. He's moved all in. We can't see what he has. He's got. I can see a single ace.
I can't tell if it's 6-4 or not.
Let's see if
9 total, Mo.
we can see what his cards are there.
Turn him over?
Yeah, turn him over.
I'll just turn him over. He's all in.
And they're turning Hassan's hand over. They don't really have to do that. We still can't see what he
Yeah,
has.
TV.
What does he have there?
Turn him over.
Ace 9, and Mo has ace
He's made us do
6.
it for 5 weeks.
Come on, turn it up, man. You're in Iran.
I guess they said that Yosh's rule is you have to turn it up. You usually don't have to do that in a cash game.
This is
But
not Pakistan.
whatever.
That's why we turn it over.
King Jack 4. Turn is a diamond.
It's cash game.
That's how we've been
And
doing
the
it.
river
man.
is a 5. And it looks like ace 9 is good there. Yeah. A couple things could have happened there for a chop on the river, and Hassan takes it down.
Hello?
You want it? I can do it.
And Mo is questioning the rule, but I guess if it's a rule that Yoshi states in his game,
Run my credit.
But casino rules don't apply in Yoshi's game.
you know what? At this level, they do some crazy
Back,
things.
can you hear me
That's
all right?
true.
Or do I need to talk louder or what? Okay, I said I did not authorize you to run my credit. Is
He's
that
going to
correct?
wait all the way? Okay.
No, I'm not.
That's what I thought he was going to just wait one hand.
Well, get back with me on the 5 on arm, how much you can do for me. I have to get off the phone right now. Hold on 1 second, hold on.
Yeah, Hassan is on the phone there.
Yes, sir.
Pocket aces for Seth in seat 4.
What's your name?
Dimitri.
Dimitri?
And he's going to limp.
I know you.
He's limping in mid-position.
And he's limping when Hassan's away from the table.
Yeah, you know Hassan's going to
You know,
fold.
yeah.
Yeah, wow.
'Cause Hassan might have bit.
I mean, that's in essence limping
on
from the
there.
cutoff when you know Hassan's going to get up. He's already
Right.
shown it. And the flop comes queen 5-5. Now Seth has top pair,
It's been raised to 4.
and it looks like we got a bet there of 200 by.
Seth has aces. Dimitri has queen.
Yeah. Mike Wee bet.
800.
Seth raised and Dimitri re-raised. And the trap is going to work here. It's a re-raise to 800 by Dimitri. So we got about a $2,000 pot here. Mike Woo's out of the hand. The turn's a 3. And Seth is going to come out and bet again. He bets 1,000. So he called the raise by Dimitri on the flop. And Dimitri's called him here on the turn. And the river's a king, and aces are good. Seth bets here again. Looks like maybe 1,400. So he played the aces slow, and it worked out well for him.
One we had turned to shit.
And now with that king, you know, Dimitri might think, well, I might escape with the chop because that king might play, but he's going to muck it.
I see my own play every day. Change
You know, if Dimitri had something like queen 10 or queen jack,
Well, I don't necessarily agree with you there that he would think that. Seth didn't slow down when that king hit. That means he didn't have a queen.
the ones that can adjust in the middle of the game.
Don't you agree?
I think so.
If Seth
I
only
think
had
Seth was
if
representing
Seth
5.
only had a queen,
yeah.
he would have checked
Yeah.
when that king came. So he either had aces or he had a 5
Yeah. I agree with you there, but I
Or-
don't necessarily know that
or pocket, queens full.
if you had ace queen, you're telling me you're going to check when a king comes on the river
300.
for some reason? Or king queen or queen jack? Why would that king affect anything
I don't
on the
care if he
river?
talks on the phone.
Now, the way that the hand was played
I don't care
out,
if he talks on the
3
phone.
players.
Seth really did show some strength, and he had a
I
big
don't want to
hand.
interfere with his play.
Okay.
King, jack, deuce, couple of spades.
So there's no negative
10.
amortization, right?
Got checked around. The turn is a king.
Ask your supervisor that. Ask your supervisor that.
And it looks like Hassan's good here,
6.
or he has the best hand, and he's going to bet 600.
Not right now. What's the APR?
Yosh
Call me with
calls?
the APR.
Yosh just got.
Call me with the APR.
Oh, Yosh bet. That makes more sense. Yosh bet with 5-7, and Hassan called, and now Yosh checks.
Okay. Ask your supervisor what your APR is and call me.
So Yosh was trying to take a stab at it at the turn.
9.
I mean, you just waste everybody's time.
And he bets 900,
Huh?
and he takes it down.
All the tournament moves.
Hassan, you're the man now. I'd like to.
The tournament moves are one.
Diablo
Well,
continues
you
to egg him on a little bit.
I had to do that.
Show me a better, worse hand.
I had to do that to win the pot. A guy like you might call me with 7 high, you know?
These two just keep going back and forth.
Playboy magazine.
What about it?
Adult video magazine. What is that, medium form?
And Kev Math on 2+2 has pointed out that Hassan is now 1 out of 5
That's been raised
running
to
multiple
300.
times. And I think it actually
No.
is it more than that? Is it
1 out of 8.
1 out of 8, isn't it, or 2 out of 8? I think it was.
Because it was 2, 3, and 3.
11.
Oh, 2 out of 8.
2 out of 8.
You're right.
Yeah. Yeah, now it's 2 out of 8.
Maybe when he pointed it out was before
Yeah.
the last one. No.
Yeah.
Throw me a bluff one
Hassan
time.
raised there with Jack 10. Mike came over the top of him
I
with
know
Ace King,
Hassan can throw
and
me
he
a
takes
bluff
it down.
anytime.
Yeah, that's pretty bad, especially when you're ahead with King Queen. It's rough. Pretty rough. Of course, we're talking about a live thread that started on 2+2. You can go to 2plus2.com. Click on the forums key. World Poker Tour televised tournaments official live bike thread for October 5th.
Give wood chips.
You can also email us at live@thebike.com.
That's why it shows how stupid you are trying to bluff me.
Mo's picked up big slick suited in the big blind. Ace King of Hearts.
Yeah, when you try to bluff me, I raise it.
Pot's been raised.
And he's going to raise. Wow, Seth limped in with 10-4 of hearts, and he's called. He's in second position, so we've got Ace King. And Dimitri actually has 10-4 of hearts, not 10-5. And Mo picks up top pair here, King Jack Queen.
Top pair and a gut shot.
Yeah. Backdoor heart draw.
doing it.
And seat 5 calls. Unbelievable. The turn is a 10. Now Mo has a straight. He bets 500.
Nothing wrong with that among the
And he shows it, Shirley. He shows the 4-10 of hearts.
Did he show both? I think he only showed one card.
He got the 10.
I think he only showed the 10.
And the river is a 4 of diamonds.
Oh my goodness, Mo, you.
And Mo shows his
you
cards.
stick to Mo?
But that's, well, we've got another guy that's going to mix it up with some action here in seat 5.
The casino, we have
Incredible.
doctor?
Incredible stuff.
On site.
I'll tell you what. All poker players go to doctors and listen to them. We got no poker.
Ooh, Dimitri's got pocket aces. He's going to make it 300 under the
Remember
gun.
what happened on the last tournament, the main event on covers? The cheap leader on the final table? 5K? Yeah. Cheap leader.
Yosha's got King Jack offsuit from the button.
Heads up.
And we're heads up aces against King Jack.
Cheap leader on the final table. Yeah. I don't know the guy.
Oh my! Set of aces versus bottom 2 pair. Ace King Jack on the flop. And Dimitri's going to bet right out. He bets 500. And Yosh raises him, and Dimitri's on the short stack. He moves all in. And I want to say that Yosh
Is trying to
he could
he's
check
like he can only win if he gets
running
quads.
quads, right?
Yeah. King, king, or jack, jack.
Maybe you run a runner.
And if we did see running quads, it would be a jackpot. It would be a jackpot if we saw running quads here. King,
You're
king,
right.
or jack, jack.
You're right.
So Yosh needs a jackpot. There's one of them.
We need
He
one
needs
more.
A king. Oh, an 8 on the river. Wow. Full house over full house. And Dimitri.
You're very lucky you didn't have more money.
It would have been better.
Did they mention it? I wonder if any of them
I don't
realized it
even
would have
think
been a
they
jackpot. Yeah.
They're not used to playing with
when you're
jackpot
running
games.
Yeah.
Yeah, he's running good.
Yes.
No money.
Yes.
He's running
Wow.
Yes.
Small bit.
And, of course, that hand would probably play out a little differently if, imagine if Dimitri had as many chips as Yosh had in that hand. I mean, could Yosh ever get away from a full house if you put the guy
But
in
on the
pocket
turn,
aces?
yeah.
Yeah, I mean,
Yeah.
it would be an incredible laydown.
Bye-bye flyers.
We have some hands here. We have pocket tens and ace jack.
Mike, are you out?
And Mo is going to raise here with ace jack.
700 total bet.
He makes it 600 to go after a few limpers.
Yosh, that was a good beat.
Seth has got pocket tens there. Looks like he's in the small blind.
6 to call.
Everybody lay down. Tom next.
600. Diablo gets out of there with jack 10. Now, 2 of the jacks are dead. Yosh is out of there, so heads up. Mo is in position, and he's on the short stack. And look at that, he picks up a jack. And this is going to be tough for Seth to get away with. You wonder if it's going to get tough for him to get away from. Mo bets 500, and Seth immediately calls. The turn is a 7, gives Seth a straight draw now. And Mo looks like he's going to bet here. 2,000? 2,000. I don't know if Seth can get away from here. The bet was 500 on the flop. I want to say the pot is about 4,500, 2,000 for Seth to call.
Yes, Queen, he can lay down.
Obviously, you could pick up an 8 or a 10.
I know.
You're getting worse
So
than
$4,500 pot, 2,000
You're getting worse than
for Seth to call here.
Your friend. The skinny, shorty Alex.
Oh, yeah.
You know, Mo could play this hand just like if he had ace king. He could play it the same way. So
He beats everybody 80, 90%. Huh?
No, reads.
part of the beauty of Mo that he's aggressive, drive forward. Wow, what a laydown! That's a great laydown there
Now
by
you
Seth.
took my place. You
Great
flopped more
laydown.
than me. Good.
And the rabbit cam showed a 9.
Right.
Playing a little blind?
And Mo increases his chip stack.
Now I'm convincing Mike. I'm convincing Francisco to come
And
over.
Hassan has come back to the table.
We suffer from that every
You were just the button. He was in first position.
Oh, he had the big blind, right?
Now a little dispute about where the button goes.
Small right now.
Yeah.
There we
Oh, he's
go.
back.
There he is.
Yeah, but
Well, Dimitri's back anyways. He was going to get up from the small, so blind, so it caused a little bit of
No,
confusion.
it didn't freeze.
okay, but you gotta move the button. You didn't move
No, I'm sorry. No, he moved it from here to
Mo
there.
had the button last.
Mo had the button last hand. Yeah, so it moves over to
Want a big blind?
Seth there.
Ron. Oh, Anita, please. Can you put Allen on $2, $3? No, $3. 1,000 $3. 1,500 no.
Anita, me too.
Bruce Parker,
just,
yeah.
he limps
Anita, me
in.
too.
Limps in with ace king.
You're there, don't worry. He's there. No, he's there. Put Allen, only Allen.
Mo has a, looks like he's got a weak ace over there in the cutout. Ace 7. He's out of there. Got Dimitri there in the blinds. Dimitri's gonna, looks like he's raising. He's gonna raise to 300. Dimitri has ace 6. And Hassan quickly calls it king 6. And look at this,
King
Bruce
5.
Parker. Bruce Parker, he's gonna pull the limp re-raise here with the ace king. That's obviously representing a big hand. So Dimitri has raised with ace 6. Hassan's called with king 5. Bruce Parker's pulled the limp re-raise. And I can't imagine that either are going to call. They both lay it down. You know, sometimes I will do that. You know, I might limp in with ace king, not necessarily to pull the limp re-raise, but if I see maybe a couple limpers and then maybe somebody in late position raises, or somebody in the blind raises, and I think I have the best hand, limp re-raise. Because it's, you know,
Isn't that what you just said? Not necessarily what you're doing.
it's you know, it's definitely indicative of a big hand.
When I'm out there, you're not there.
You mean if you don't have ace king, you do that?
No, if I have ace king, I might, you know, my intention might be to limp onto the gun, but if I see a couple limpers and someone trying to steal the limpers, I might pull the limp re-raise.
Whenever somebody
All
calls
in.
me that, I usually don't go. Let me spit my Oh man, I can't even call.
Yosh raised here with 10-8 offsuit to 400. Dimitri's going to call on the button with king queen.
Yeah, huh?
What do you do when somebody calls you?
I'm just kidding.
And we're heads up.
No, but what do you do?
And Dimitri's hit top pair.
Are you already married? Oh, forget about
Dimitri,
it.
Yosh checks here, and Dimitri's going to bet.
Forget about it. Forget about it. Yeah,
Bets 1,000.
forget about it.
Yeah, tell him how it is. Hassan.
Yosh is done.
That's why I told you I want to learn from you. I'm married too. I forget about it too.
You married? Forget about it.
Forget about what?
And Diablo and Hassan Habib continue to jaw at each other.
Oh no, I still like my mother.
See, then you're okay.
Just want to say
When I die, I forget about it.
Yeah, I know. Me too. I like Mamacita, that's why I have to do this, you know. Get her.
Whenever they come
Too
to the
much.
neighborhood.
Hey, too much.
Oh, what
Yeah,
do
too much.
much? Oh,
That's my biggest problema.
Yeah,
Worse than poker.
I know, it's terrible.
Huh? Well, I tell you, I
Seth's
lost
played a
more
pretty
money on
ABC
Mamacitas
game
than,
here in C4.
Yes, he has.
How can we explain that?
That's better bet.
You know what I mean?
And it looks like the blinds have completed, and we're heads up.
One X,
Jack 9 and 4-5.
big hit. Oh, 6 X's?
Check on the flop. Turns a 4. Bruce has picked up a pair now.
So you never make it up.
He has a pair and a straight draw, and he's still checking.
No, this is the last one.
And
Now
the
he has
river's
a
6.
straight.
Yep.
Let's see if he throws out a bet now.
Got a straight there with his 5.
There's a bet.
Well, no, it's been a year and a
Michael
half.
has nothing to call him with.
No.
Takes it down. It's interesting, you know, I think that Diablo's saying that the only bigger problem that he has in his life than poker is the amount of women that he has.
Was he saying the amount or just women in general?
You know, after a while you get tired of it.
I think it was women,
Women in general.
Romantico.
Well, you know that Diablo's a ladies' man.
You kept sleeping with them until then you got married. That's not right.
I like what you say.
Live straddle.
Got a live straddle here by Yosh. So it's 200 to call. Pocket aces for Seth. And he's going to not fool around this time. He raises.
So 600.
Makes it 600 to go.
No, I'm trying. I'm trying. I haven't yet. But no.
That's a blend. That's a blend.
Phyllis's.
Oh, Phyllis.
And it gets folded to Yosh. Let's see what he does. Wow, he's going to make the call. He must be feeling hot. Queen 10 offsuit.
Because they're going to come in and look for
And
Phyllis.
Seth's in real good shape.
Come on, baby.
Aces against Queen 10.
No, Hassan is a developer.
Oh boy, and Yosh has picked up top pair. 10-6-3.
He built a house on a piece of land.
And let's see here. Yosh is going to bet.
There is nothing.
He bets. Looks like 900.
He has a nice face, but
So you don't have no landscape.
he's not professional.
No candle.
No more.
So now the pot, and look at this. Now he's going to raise. He's going to make the raise there. And Yosh quickly calls. Looks like it was a $1,000 raise.
I live in a small house right now.
Turn is a jack. We're approaching 4,000 or 5,000 in the pot now. Yosh bet the flop. Seth raised. Yosh called. Yosh now checks. Seth is going to bet. 1,700. Now that's under half the size of the pot.
Right. But once again, you know, the jack's not slowing him down.
That's what I'm going to do in Mexico.
You know, the families have some nice daughters, you know.
And let's see what Yosh does here.
They got some nice daughters. What are you doing, above?
There's James Woods.
Now you recognize them.
Came back to try
Yeah, maybe he can
tonight.
play in this game. Well, Yosh is facing a $1,700 bet here on the turn. I want to say the pot's 6,000. It's 1,700 for Yosh to call. And he's up against an overpair, but he's been running hot tonight, and sometimes he runs in streaks.
James, if I play, you can play.
And we're getting word that James Woods is going to play in this game, so stick around. Fasten your seatbelt. And Yosh is trying to get a count of how much Seth has left here. And it's not that much compared to the size
No,
of the
it's
pot.
not.
Looks like about 2,000 and maybe a couple hundred.
Well, he's factoring in, you know, if I call here, how much more am I going to have to play?
I mean, Seth
If I
has played
call,
at
should I just move
ABC
in?
all night. And Yosh could
Yeah,
easily
but we
be-
see that more. I don't think he's shown the aces. He didn't show the
Yeah.
aces the one time on that 5-5 board.
Which, of course, you love, not to never show, give anything away.
Right.
Well, again, the pot's about 6,000. It's 1,700 for Yosh to call. And he looks like he's really struggling with this one. I mean, would this guy continue to do this with ace-king? And it looks like Yosh is going to get away from it, and it's the right laydown. And that time, Seth
He
showed him.
does show.
Showed him the aces.
And that's really the time you don't want to show him, is to make a player feel better about a laydown they just made.
Yeah, I mean, you want to put somebody on thinking that you stole it.
Mm-hmm.
Absolutely. So we're going to get, again, James Woods is going to come into the game. Do we have an open seat right now? I think that seat 7 is open. Oh.
He doesn't.
Now we're getting word that he's not going to get in the game. Sorry. You can imagine that the game would be too. Maybe he doesn't want to play at these levels. I mean, money's money, right? I mean, even if you have a lot of money.
Right. Plus, I mean, I'm sure he's looking at the table and seeing the son.
Yeah.
Yosh sitting there.
We got I think it was a raise by seat 5 here with Jack 4 of hearts. And Mo has got ace 5. And Mo checks it. He's flopped top and bottom. Bruce is not in the hand. It's a $600 bet here by Dimitri. And let's see what Mo does. He's going to check raise with the ace 5. Ace 5 against Jack 4. And he is going to make it, I want to say,
15 more.
Yeah, 15 more, so 2,100 straight. Dimitri's only got second pair here.
Not really much to think about, but wants to pretend like he's thinking about it.
I need to double up. I'm ready to double up.
the biggest guy. That should be okay. That should be.
And that was a cash game. Wow. This is a cash game.
Salado.
Well, he's really given this one a thought. I mean, Mo has
I think
check
he's
raised him.
acting.
Yeah. The only thing he's thinking, well, I'm going to gamble it up here because I want to rebuy. But I mean, come on. I mean, Mo is a huge favorite here. He can't beat an ace. Can't beat a higher jack.
But remember last time, everybody was saying, so what can I do?
I can't tell you what I can show you on the video, right?
What can I, you know, I can only we got
Dimitri's telling him, I have a set.
I know, but
I have a set. Are you kidding me? His chips would be in there in a heartbeat.
I thought he said I have a jack. I think he was saying jack.
Mo said if you have a jack, you win.
$1,500 right now.
It's $1,500. Ah, he's gonna get it with him. Let's see if Mo doesn't show him. Maybe Mo will show him the 5. Oh, he just shows him the ace. Well, that was good anyways. And actually, he shows ace 5. There you go.
No, King Deuce club. So I hit the king on the river. King on the river game with the king 9. Against
El Diablo's okay.
Against Juan.
I need to over here. I'll sit open.
Yeah, I'm just playing for Hassan.
Players like you all in. This is where they should be.
So Mo wins that one. And I guess James is going to play for Hassan.
How much?
Well, that's an interesting chip count. That doesn't
That
have
is so
92,000.
off. Yeah, Seth doesn't have 90.
He had the not flush? We had the
I
not
hit the straight flush and I hit the higher straight flush.
Let's play. Oh my goodness. Oh man, I wish he would have had
The
a.
Mothman on 2+2 asked how much the jackpot would have been if they had hit it. It was 41,000.
$1 raise.
And James Woods is going to raise with Hassan's money, it looks like, with pocket jacks. So
James
Woods is,
couldn't do anything worse than Hassan's done
yeah,
tonight.
he's playing with Hassan's money. Got jacks. And Dimitri lived in with Jack 7. Hassan's in, James, this hand is in great shape.
I've seen lots of cards that I raised. I'm sorry, Hassan.
No problem, man.
And Hassan's back at the table now.
Finally, we got James.
And look at this, Dimitri's going to call.
I pulled the first 100.
Well, I mean, Hassan's stack that James Woods is playing is so short here that probably Woods would want to make a move pretty much all in on the flop. Especially now with
With
an
this
overpair.
flop.
10, 8, 3. And that's what he's going to do. He's going to push it. This is great.
We're all in.
Hey, look at James, your hero, honey.
That's 100.
Oh, come on, Dimitri. Give me a break.
19, 16,
It's
19.
supposed to be
That's
5,000.
100.
Am I missing something here?
I have, he's trying to hit a 9. He wants to hit an offsuit 9 or a backdoor
Yeah, he's got a
flush.
gut shot.
James, supposed to be 5,000.
I mean, he's trying to do pot odd calculations, but come on.
I don't think that's what he's just
Well, he's
doing the
looking,
same
he's
thing he
looking
did
at
last
the pot.
time. Just pretending.
One out for the backdoor club draw, right? Oh, these guys kill me.
Whatever you want.
I'm going to play the hand.
Whatever you want.
I'm going to play the hand, baby. This is not money. This is that. This is it.
Dimitri called with the gut shot? He made the call. What's going on here? We're in the twilight zone. The guy's gambling it up. He makes the call. He's got backdoor clubs. He's got a gut shot to the 9. Oh,
That's
my.
awfully nice of him to try to give James
He
Woods
actually
his money.
he could catch running 7s as well. There's,
Well, yeah,
there's another
but-
chance.
He's real behind.
Oh, again, maybe 6,000 or 7,000. And are they going to run it more than once?
No.
Oh, James says only once. The turn's a king, and the river's a deuce. And James Woods / Hassan Habib take the pot down.
And
Hassan says, you got to keep
Stay
playing.
there. You're
Yeah.
doing better than I did.
Thank you, Mr. Woods. Thank you, gentlemen. Good luck.
Hopefully Hassan's not coaching James.
Thank you, Mo.
That is funny stuff. Wow, Jack 7. Boy, that's only a gambler's call there, huh? Unbelievable. If you want to gamble, I guess restricted buy and no limit hold'em is your game, right?
Just bring $5,000 down to the bike.
Yeah,
and,
well, because you just keep rebuying for 5,000, 5,000, jam your money in there on draws. Maybe hope that they'll run it multiple times.
And the whole time I was sitting there thinking, he's just showboating. He's not going to call. I mean, not showboating. He's just Hollywooding.
And Diablo is going to raise here. Ace 10.
Oh, what are you talking about? Oh, no.
And we got 3 callers. Pocket 3s, King 5, and Ace 10. And look at this. Diablo's hit trip 10s. Flop comes 10, 10, 8. Good flop for Ace 10.
He's been doing it to me all night.
It's a...
Not so great that the other players didn't catch any
Yeah.
piece of it.
It's about $1,000 pot.
Not tonight. I'm on lockdown.
And
Game is still up.
I'm on lockdown.
You know, lockdown? You're not gonna win anything, though.
Dimitri checks. Diablo's going to bet.
I wonder if Dimitri will call with 3s.
Called with Jack 7 last time.
I know.
So let's back over to Dimitri. Diablo has bet, it looks like, maybe 800. And look at this. Dimitri check raises the rest of his
He
stack
moves all
all
in.
in, and Diablo looks down. He's got
Oh,
ace
what
10.
the hell. Let's go for it.
There it is, and he makes the call. Dimitri's going to need to spike a 3 here, or running hearts won't even do it. And look at that. The turn's a 10. Diablo's made quads. Unbelievable.
Now we have 2 seats open.
I'm tipping out when you leave.
So you don't get quads every day, and you don't get paid off every day with quads. But there you go.
He just...
Yeah, go ahead. I think.
How nice
Did we
is
hear
this?
that? Yeah, I think that Hassan just put James Woods in the game.
Gave him $5,000 and said, play.
I guess. Yeah. So there you go. All kinds of crazy.
James
things
doesn't even know what to do.
Yep.
I have ace 10. I raised the
Yeah, okay.
So James Woods into the game.
flop.
And I hope he probably doesn't know. He doesn't have to get crafty here. These players are playing wild tonight. If he just plays with solid hands, he should do okay.
Yeah. I mean, he last night he didn't play all that badly. We kind of saw him play it.
He played some weak aces, which I wasn't too thrilled
he played
with. but-
some questionable hands pre-flop. But I mean, James is a smart man. He should know that this game pretty much plays exactly like last night's game in the beginning.
Right, and he won last night.
Yeah, and this game you actually get less for your money than last night's game in terms of the big blind times you're buying.
Right.
If you're getting 50 times, last night you get 100 times.
After the turn, I almost laid busted.
Oh, my God. You win?
And Mike Wu there's got ace-queen.
I almost laid it down on the turn.
Looks like he raises it up here, and no one's going to get involved. Yeah, no one really wants to get involved with Mike or Seth. They're kind of like hawks
Since
here.
they're not really playing any hands.
Yeah. And Mo is playing it pretty. He's playing it pretty ABC as well. And where's Jonas? That would complete the table, because he's a great player that does mix it up.
Here's a chip count for us.
There we go.
Bruce in the lead there with 14,800.
Wow. Now,
Hassan, I think he's probably pretty even. I mean, he's did the 5,000 and he rebought for another 5. So
yeah. And did Yosh lose a big pot?
Yosh should have $12,000, but he pulled $5,000 off of Yosh's stack to give to James Woods.
Okay.
And James Woods he's not up there, but
so
he has
that's
the $5,000.
going to be a little weird with the chips, but Yosh is actually up the most, but doesn't necessarily have a ton in front of him.
That's right.
We got a $400 raise there by Diablo with ace-7 of diamonds, and he's going to get called in 2 spots. Looks like it's Seth and Hassan, and the flop comes Jack 5-6, and Hassan is going to bet. He's on the button, and he's picked up top pair. He bets 900.
Tony, why you show up? I want to see something beautiful, not something like you.
And Diablo's talking smack to James Woods now.
He like, I'm a very honest guy.
Hey, how come? I've been bluffing every hand and you guys don't give me any action?
And I think Hassan turned over the
Right,
jack.
he showed the jack.
I think you legends, whatever you want, Hussein.
Well, a lot of people, especially the pro poker players, are know Jimmy Woods from because he plays a lot of tournaments.
Yes, he does.
So it's not like it's this big movie star coming to the table. It's all different. I mean, he's guy's been around.
Right.
He's been playing poker for a while.
Yeah, he's friends with a lot of these players.
Yeah. Yeah.
You know how that works, right? Every time there's a flop, you drop this.
Oh, James, and you know what? Also, one thing, James.
I know about this guy. I'm limping before I show my cards because I know he'll raise.
Well, you already know about him.
Should not raise.
Man, I'm scared of you.
Should I raise
Yeah, it
guys
looks
by
like
just being
it's,
such a nice guys, which I'm going to let you guys see a free flop.
By the way, I had nothing else.
Got it four-way action linked around here.
I have a horrible hand.
And the flop comes 9-6-3. And it looks like Hassan in seat 7 has a flush draw and a gut shot. And Michael's going to bet here. He's got a set of threes, bottom set, and he bets right out. And let's see what Hassan does. Hassan's got a big drawing hand, and he's going to put the raise in there. And let's see if Michael just pushes the chips in automatically. $1,500 more, and that's pretty much going to put Mike all in. And
Look at that. You're not on TV anymore.
and there we go. He goes all in, probably for about 400 more, or so. Well,
Now,
maybe.
Hassan's been taking the bad end of the
Yeah.
flush draws. Maybe he can get.
So we're looking again
Get
at
one
about a
of his-
$6,000 pot, a draw against bottom set.
Needs a 7 or a spade.
Let's see how many
A
times they're
spade
going to
that
run it
doesn't
this
pair.
time.
That's a monster hand. How many times you gonna run it? 2.
So I think they're going to run it
Twice.
2 times. Oh, that's it right there. The turn is a 6, and Michael fills up the first time they run it.
No.
And that's an extra spade that Hassan's not going to be able to catch on the next time.
Right.
So his odds go down. 10 here. And the river is a 4. And Michael takes them both.
Good hand, Mike.
Bang,
So
bang,
that is,
boom. He doubles through. And Hassan
2 for
loses
10.
another one. 2 for 10. Now, Hassan was he was a good dog there. Well, it wasn't, it's definitely not the same as losing with King Queen,
Right.
flopping the nut straight.
120, Mike.
Mike doubles through.
You know what I mean, James?
So, getting mixed up there with Mike. Hassan
Mike,
loses.
me and you are going to be one day professional.
One day, yeah.
On the final table, we're going to get them.
These guys up and down the block. 24, 48. You're about 50 to 48.
Pelacio is going to hire us, Mike.
Dimitri comes back with more ammunition.
Yep. And this has got to be
Let's
one
see
of
if
the
he can do
craziest
better with
whale
this
nights
buy-in.
we've had. Of course, Whale Night is brought to you by PokerBlue.com. Go to PokerBlue.com and play 4 hours of any 1-2 limit game or higher, any no limit game. Qualify for the big fat weekly free roll. First prize gets you a seat to an upcoming WPT tournament of your choice. I think there's 3 or 4 to choose from. And next year's main event at the World Series. Or if you use BIKE in your deposit code, you can play on this game.
Right.
I got to tell you, with some of the play that I've seen, I think I might choose this game.
Well, the way it's been tonight,
I
that's for
mean-
sure. You come when your entry into the
Yeah, exactly. Plus your cash.
plus you have extra.
Yeah. I mean, we've seen some crazy action tonight. James Woods is in the game.
I have to go steal it. ¿Qué pasó, Jose?
Well, Bruce, you got to admit, for customer service, I'm very responsive.
And Mike Wu is going to raise seat 9. Makes it 400 to go. He's got ace 5 suited. Bruce Parker had limped in with Jack Rag suited in the mucks. That's usually,
Yeah.
you don't usually say Jack Rag suited, do you?
Jack Rag.
Yeah.
No.
Jack Rag suited.
Wait, I gotta. This is how I know to look at that hand. I bought the subscription. You did? Yeah. So you can go back and look at all of them. I'll be looking at this tomorrow morning.
She bought me. You going to Connecticut? No, I'm going to Hawaii.
With the Lakers?
Hey, how are you? Look at that.
And I was talking to James Woods outside, actually, last night. Says he's watched the show in the past. He's a big fan. I mean, again, we might actually do a promotion with Hollywood, with his Hollywood Poker Gang and get a show.
Get some of them in here.
Five-way action here. It was limped around. Queen 7-4 on the flop. Ooh, looks like we got a set of fours there for Mr. Jimmy Woods, and he's going to bet right into it. He bets 500. Couple spades on board. And unfortunately for him, he's not going to get any action. Let's see if he shows the set.
I hope not.
Yeah, it looks like it.
He does.
On the new website,
He's a card magnet.
They sure are. What the hell's going on?
Not right. Not right.
If you show up at 7 o'clock or 6, whenever it's right.
So I assume that James Woods was here for the tournament.
I gotta bet it.
He entered the tournament. I'm getting confirmation on that.
So you still with Pokemon too?
I wonder how Dave's doing.
Yeah, Dave Tuckman came back here during the break.
Okay, oh, email's not on there.
Button. Mo has the button now in C3. Again, we really haven't seen Mo play a lot. He doesn't really have a hand here. Mucks. And they're heads up between James and Hassan in the blinds. And I think James completes and Hassan checks.
885.
Look at this, James has flop trip eights. And he checks it. Hassan checks right behind him. Turns a deuce. And you gotta think that James is gonna show this
He'll
too.
show this one.
And he does.
He can't get any action.
There's nothing like a Pakistani or Indian accent cussing. I just find that funny. There's a gentleman here that plays 2040 Hold'em. His name's Michael. He's Pakistani. Cusses out a lot.
Does he cuss you out?
Well, it doesn't cuss me out. He's a funny guy, but just in that accent.
Uh-huh.
These mother bleeping dealers.
looks like you want to have a surgery too.
And Bruce Parker's going to straddle
How
here.
much the surgery costs you, because he's going to lose all his hair on this end.
Yeah, okay, I say that.
It looks like we got a multi-way pot here. Four-way action. So it was a $200 to call, so it's an $800 pot. And the flop comes Jack 8-3. And Bruce has got an open-ended straight draw, and he's going to bet right into it from seat 8. He bets 400.
No, I'm talking about your hair. The surgery
Diablo's got gut shot, backdoor spade draw.
I'm going to send you the
He's out of there.
Is that it?
And they're going to let Bruce take this one down.
Diablo plays a lot tighter once he has some chips in front of him.
Well, you know,
He was going wild earlier.
Well, he's played a lot tighter compared to when we've seen him on the 10-20 game. And you wonder, just because it's a bigger game, you know, does it inherently make you respect the game a little more and put a little less gamble in your game? You know? Now, obviously, you're supposed to play the game the same at every level, but in reality, I mean, I got to tell you, I've played with friends and I'm dicking around playing 2-4 Hold'em. I don't play that the same as I play 40-80.
Well,
yeah. Bruce Parker's got pocket kings in the big blind.
How long has it been?
This was only 3 days ago.
Oh, man, wait till...
I try to play the 3-6 limit the same as I do 25-50 limit.
complaining about this. Right
Hassan raised here, and we can't see what he has, and Bruce re-raised, and Hassan called. So what has Hassan got here? He's got 6-7 offsuit. Well, he's hit a pair. Bruce has got the overpair. Queen 6-9. And Hassan checks, Bruce moves all in, and Hassan calls with a single pair, and he's going to go bust again here unless he gets lucky.
Well, we don't know, yeah.
He's way behind.
But he hasn't got lucky all night, that's for sure.
Turn is a 4. He could catch
6 or 7.
5. Yeah, the river is a queen. Yeah, you're right. He didn't even have a straight draw there. And Hassan.
Hassan says, please keep playing for me, James, because I can't win a pot.
Yep.
Can I make a suggestion?
Yeah.
Maybe you should quit playing poker.
I know.
By the time everything works out on your hair, you know what I mean?
Yeah, I know. It looks like the way I'm playing right now.
You know what I mean?
Sure.
Because you're going to lose it right after.
What's he talking about? Losing his hair?
He's talking about maybe Hassan should stop playing poker until your hair grows back. It's nothing like getting kind of like ripped by Diablo.
Looking at the mirror and...
This is some great stuff.
4. That's 14.
But you know what I mean, Hassan? Is that a good...
Jimmy Wood's going to raise here. Ooh, 6-9 offsuit. He likes to raise in late position from the cutoff from the button. I noticed that.
Be careful.
And
be careful with what?
Bruce is going to call here with
I'm not worried
Ace-10.
about you. You I own. You're my puta.
Oh, wow.
Who said that? Uh-oh. And Diablo's in the hand. We can't see what he has. Diablo's got 8-4 offsuit.
That was enough to make he was ready to muck until he said that.
Now you're going to be pissed off now because you put a...
He even said, I'm pissed off now.
And look at this. Diablo's going to bet here. And Bruce checked the ace, and Diablo bets, and let's see what Bruce does.
Oh, he makes
Look at this. He's going to check raise. Diablo only has 8-4.
I didn't hit it, but I was at the table.
And he said, you put me on tilt now. We can see what happened there. Wow.
John Hiku had...
Bruce makes a check raise to about 2,500.
aces full of 10s, and Toto hit a royal flush.
Oh, come on, Diablo. I mean, at this point, if Diablo makes a move on Bruce, I got to think that Bruce is going to call.
Yeah.
Yeah, you know.
Let's go.
He gets away from it, man.
You're lucky that ace.
I'm lucky I'm alive.
Lucky in that ace.
Wow.
See, George?
Incredible stuff here, live bike.
I don't know about that. He goes in with nothing.
He's going to say he doesn't have an ace? If he doesn't have an ace, that's what
Button now is the seat 8.
Dangerous. Good. He's good. You know, he's one of the greatest poker players in the world.
Yeah, and I got to say, I mean, if Jonas can hear this game, I would be rushing here
Yeah.
from wherever he is. They got a seat, you know, supposedly reserved
Maybe that's
for
what
him.
happened. He was trying to rush here. He got a ticket.
Yeah.
25?
He's out there with the police officer.
I slept up.
Looks like we've got Diablo and
my
Yosh.
favorite hand. You don't want to see this.
I think it's 2 people in the blind. Jack 4 against Deuce 5. Flop comes Queen Jack 10. Yosh has a pair. Check, check here on the turn.
This is Yoshi's game.
Oh, Yosh is going to throw a bet in now on the turn.
Okay, now we're
Diablo's out of there.
Liz.
It looks like Mo's going to get up, so somebody's coming in the game.
Liz, you're looking better now. Liz. Liz, you're looking better now. Look.
Oh, that's just terrible, Shirley.
Yeah, he seems he's looking better now that he's had a few glasses
Now
of
he's
wine.
just like, yeah, I think Liz is a very pretty woman.
Hassan, Now she's looking better now.
Floor woman.
Because her hair is growing now.
Yeah, see that? You're right.
One of my close friends' ex-girlfriends, actually.
I think she'd do better than like a Taliban guy from the kids.
Taliban guy.
Hey, Liz, you need to do with him.
Just like any other game.
And
I'm gonna make him on night.
Mike Wu posted behind. He's going to raise it up to 400 with ace-4 off suit. Now the big blind, Seth, he's got a pretty big hand there. Ace-queen suited. Diablo has a little suited connector on the button.
Only for you, Mike. Next time.
Wow,
you're gonna
that's
see that on
amazing
TV.
that he's laying these hands down. He's
Oh, you
really
like
tightened
to
his
put a
game
hand?
up.
I cannot show you.
So ace-queen against ace-4, heads up.
my
Oh, wow, ace-queen's flopped the nut flush draw. Seth checks.
Mike came out nice.
Mike is going to bet here.
Mike came out nice. Is he on that?
600.
600. See what Seth does.
Look at Mike, came out nice.
He calls.
Really nice, man. How much you pay for that?
Oh, Mike was too much.
Ooh, the turn's a king. That is not the card that Seth wants to see there. A red king.
Right.
It's got to be the worst thing you could see.
40,000 the first time, but it
And Mike is going to continue to bet. Looks like
surgery.
$1,200. And Seth calls. Wow. Got about a $4,000 pot now. And the river's a 6.
Well, Seth has the best hand, but if Michael could fire again, he might get away
Look
with
at this.
it.
Now they check it down. And Seth is good with the ace-queen.
I went down. You see how I
Yeah,
went down?
Mike got a little gun shy there at the end.
But came down, but thought you know, Diablo's not going to slow down.
Well, sometimes the people, we say that if you put the guy on a flush draw, which is of course what Seth had there, he might have to fire again because he might accidentally back into a
Make a
pair,
pair.
or he might have the best hand. In this case, he was chasing the nut draw, but he had your ace-4 beat.
Right.
So yeah, if Mike needed to fire there, the last barrel. And that's what Mike's saying. I said, I put you on a flush draw, but I had an ace, so I thought it might be good.
Mm-hmm.
Bruce, no, I mean, but I would like to, yes.
I know we're doing it. We're setting a record almost every single night. We've gone up over 400% successful.
300.
And those are the couple of sane players. First time they went head to
Yeah,
head.
really. The only normal ones on the table.
Yeah. We got a raise there by Diablo with 10-9 suited. And Yoshi's coming over the top with ace-jack. Makes it 900 to go, and Diablo quickly calls. $2,000 pot here, heads up. 5-3-3. Diablo checks. Yosh looks like he's going to bet 1,800. I was going to say, obviously, if Diablo knew what Yosh had, he could make a move here, but
I was thinking that he might try to.
well, it would be easier to do, obviously, with 2 diamonds.
Well, it's easier for me to do,
Yeah.
to say that knowing
You going to play? Good.
knowing what they have.
Diablo's out of there.
I'm going to lay down if you're going to play. That's why I lay down. Come here, bluff. I had a 9-7.
9-7, you're still wasting all our time. You get an ace.
It's like Yosh turned over the ace-jack.
I like to make her a little tickle. Like this.
I've lost a lot of money.
So Mo is getting called away. I think it's actually busy here, and he actually almost has to do his hosting job, just like Yosh is
Yes.
doing his job
Right.
at this table. Mo's probably got like a demand with the $300 no limit game going.
Or the 500. Uh-huh.
Well, he's going to get probably 3, 4, 500 games and a couple 10, 20 games. So he's got to really coordinate that.
Yeah, and before we came in here, I saw that there were two boards for shootout. So he might
Yeah.
be running that at the same
Yeah.
time, a $500 one table shootout and a $1,000
Yeah.
one table.
You think I'm joking? Les, you think I'm joking?
No. He thought you were joking. I was like, you're serious.
He doesn't joke. Man, it is.
We got 4-way
That was a
action
surgery
here.
for real.
And James Woods picked up trip deuces.
I'm going to move here. Want to move that?
And Bruce Parker's going to bet here on the jack.
Francisco?
Bets 200.
Oh, Francisco.
And, excuse me, Bruce bets on the flush draw, and Michael calls with the jack. And look at this. James Woods did not check raise. He just smooth calls. Bruce has a flush draw. Oh, the turn's a 6. James is playing this slow. Could go check all around here. But Michael bets on the jack. And Woods just smooth calls, and Bruce calls. He has not put any money in here with trips. And the river's a 6. He fills up.
No, for me, but you want to make a better day for me, it's Friday.
That's a tell.
What does that smell like?
That is such a tell.
And he moves all in.
Well,
he's going to try to make.
Player.
He's going to try to make that over bet that he did last
night.
Yeah,
but when you put your arms up like that, or you're saying oh, what the hell?
Yeah.
You have a monster.
Yeah. But he really played that hand slow, Shirley.
Yes,
I mean,
he did.
He could have probably extracted more money there. So Dimitri's going to move to C3, and Mo is temporarily out of the game.
Oh, no, the clip is worth more money than that. I don't keep the clip if it's not a... See the clip? This is my lucky clip.
No.
Huh?
No? Oh, yes, you are.
Yeah, you'll lose mine.
Now James Woods has the button.
Like with 50-100, I thought it was... Freddie, see, this is the lucky clip. See this, my wife? Oh, I tell her if I don't have $500 in my pocket, I don't have the clip. It's going to be
I got Jimmy Kahn to do that charity thing.
Oh, good. Good. Sorry.
Otherwise, what else am I going to do? It's a me.
We got a question here, email here by Bill Frick. Of course, you can email us at live@thebike.com. He asks us, what happens if a jackpot was hit when you were running the cards multiple times?
Only the,
Yeah, the first one applies.
One,
So if you do hit it the first time, it counts.
Right.
Wow, a $1,500 raise. Is he the first raiser, C3, Dimitri? With pocket threes. He's made it 15 times the big blind. Guess he doesn't want to see a flop there with the pocket threes, huh? That's a little extreme.
Well, yeah, you're not going to be getting called unless you're beat. Or, someone has an ace-king maybe.
And he shows the pocket threes.
No, I couldn't hit it. Before the flop, yes. After the flop, anybody can hit it.
For everyone who is a fan over there in the UK, you can check us out at the Poker Channel, the LA Poker Scene. I believe that it's Sky Satellite 27, but I'm not sure. But it's definitely on Sky Satellite in the UK. And we are run almost like 3 or 4 episodes a day over there. It's incredible how much they have us on.
Really?
Mm-hmm.
Didn't you tell him El Diablo?
And Dimitri's going to raise this one again. He makes it 800 this time. He's got ace-queen.
Bruce is calling.
Now Bruce is going to call. And I was going to say this. I mean, he doesn't have enough call. Dimitri doesn't have enough money for Bruce to make this call to hit a set. But maybe he's going to evaluate the flop and see if he's good. Now let's see what he does. Dimitri's going to bet. Now, if Bruce just mucks here, I don't agree with the call pre-flop. Because he's not getting odds to hit a set. But maybe he thought if rags came...
I think I'm ahead, but I'm going to lay it down.
Look at that. See, he says late. See what I'm getting out there?
Right.
That's kind of a fundamental error in restricted buy and no limit hold'em right there. You kind of want to bring that one in and make a call if you can hit a set and get paid off to the tune of, 9 or 10 times the raise size. And Dimitri, he only has about 3,000 left, so you're going to call 800.
So if you're making that call and it's a rag board like that, and
if you make the call, exactly. Right. I don't like it there, just mucking there. It's actually Sky Satellite 265. There we go. I got the website up there.
That's what happens when
Got a live straddle up here by seat number 2.
600.
Oh my goodness, I hate it.
Seat 7 is
I
going
hate
to
it.
raise
One of my outs is already dead, so I'm gonna fold.
with deuce 3 of diamonds.
Calling hand.
That's actually, yeah, James brought it in, and Hassan, I think James limped and Hassan raised. Couldn't quite see what Hassan had there.
So you're lucky.
King something. Didn't show us his cards. Looks like James and Hassan are like buddies. They're not going to get involved
Seems
with
like
each other.
it, yeah.
We need a new window cleaner because this window is not clean. So we need a new window cleaner.
I wonder if James has played in a cash game this big before.
He didn't seem too eager to sit down. Hassan had
So
to
I'm saying
kind
we're
of
saying
convince
Hassan's
him.
putting him in, right? Supposedly.
Yeah.
So I don't know if he's ever played this big. James Woods is gonna raise here to 300. He's got ace deuce offsuit. Now home games might be a different story. He might have a big home game that he plays in, but in like a casino, I don't know if he's ever played at this level.
All right, let's see it flop.
And Yoshi's going to make the call on the blind with, looks like, 10-9 offsuit. Now, Jack 5-3 here, if James continues to bet here, he should take it down. No, look at he checks behind Yosh, and now Yosh picks a pair up and he's going to bet.
600.
Now the turn is a 9 of spades. And I think James might be kicking himself because he's put himself in a tough spot. Now here's an example, Shirley, of what we saw at least from last night, that usually James would have fired in there heads up in position in that 3 to 500 game. You know, he brought in a lot of hands for raises in late position, and he bet the flop, because
Right.
obviously you're only going to hit it 1 out of 3 times, and the same thing with your opponent. So maybe he got a little gun shy there in this big game.
Yeah.
Kind of let a free card off, and Yosh hit something, bet right into him on the turn.
Now they call him. Oh, Diablo's bluffing you, Diablo's bluffing, making a play on you. You know what's that? He's always keeping info. Calling a move, Diablo's making a move. Oh, this guy's making a move on you. Be careful.
Bruce Parker's got an ace-queen, but Hassan is going to bring this one in with a different ace-queen. Ace-queen against ace-queen. So a raise and a call. Look at that. Diablo mucks Jack 10 on the button. He's really playing tight tonight. And Dimitri's in there with King Jack. So we've got 3-way action. It's about a $950 pot. Flop hits no on 10-7-3, couple diamonds.
500.
No, I had it. I give it to the.
Hassan bets, and Bruce quickly calls with the overcards. Got a backdoor diamond draw with his ace. Dimitri's out of there. Now, if Bruce can make a bet here, if Hassan checks to him on the turn, that would be great. Now, a king
Right.
comes off. But look at that. Obviously, that's not a good card for ace-queen.
That's only a $600 bet. That's a little fishy.
Well, Bruce
That's
has got a gut
I don't
shot.
I don't like that king bet.
He bet 600 here.
Hassan.
See what you have left.
Hassan,
And he makes the call.
Hassan,
This
get
is
him,
incredible. Let's see the river.
That's it. That's
The river's a 3. Both players share the same hand. Oh, and they check it down on the
Yes,
river.
they do.
Chop it up.
Oh, you guys are so sick.
I was going to say, you know, I would like the call there by Bruce on the flop more if he would have popped the turn. But unfortunately, if I'm looking at ace-queen planning to raise the turn regardless of what comes, the king actually
comes
is
out.
a scare card for me. I don't
Yeah.
like it.
But then again,
You
you
know.
have to think Hassan bet a really small amount into that turn,
Yeah,
which
it's a
meant
good point.
like, you know,
Yeah.
which would most likely mean I don't like that king. That's what I would take it as.
I steal it from you if I push you all in on the river.
This hand's a compound.
And I came this close.
So why would you? I would call anything but a bluff.
What was that going to be
If I'm
called?
bluffing, if I have you beat, if I have that beat, I'll call you anyway, you know?
Not really.
You don't think I'll call you with any pair?
No.
Oh, thank you.
300.
You're right. You're
Yeah,
right.
see?
That was
Got a raise here by, looks like Diablo. Ace
Right,
Jack.
Ace Jack.
And 1, 2, 3, 4 are in there.
King 4 and King 9.
But a $1,200 pot. Seth is in there with deuce 3 of diamonds.
One player has a club in their hand.
Well, Diablo hits top pair here with the ace-jack. He's going to bet. He bets the pot, 1,200. No one's going to get involved.
Not bigger than that.
I don't know if we've seen any real stone-cold bluffs here tonight, you know? I mean, it's kind of like no one's going to make a move there on Diablo. I don't have a club, so I'm just going to toss
Yeah,
it.
but I mean, we saw Hassan betting with a lot of nothing earlier.
Right,
we saw
but
Yosh doing the same thing.
kind of talking about more of like moves from up front with nothing. You know, something like the player John Huang, who comes on the show here a lot, does. I mean, he will check raise you with anything.
Right.
If he doesn't think that you hit the flop, which is more of a tournament move, really.
Well, it seems to, you know, he seems to do well with it.
Unfortunately for him, I think he's really streaky. He can win big or lose big in a cash session.
What's happening here?
Seat 7 is going to live straddle here.
Oh no, that's my dealer.
Seat 7, Hassan.
She got me even last week.
We have a live straddle.
She might be white and
What
everything.
kind of reliability do you think
She got me even last week.
What do you mean reliability?
Like if he says he's going to be
Mexican love is the
somewhere,
best love.
what do you think his reliability is?
Oh, reliability? No comment. I'll take the fifth.
Who's?
It's under 50%.
Spanish
How
love
much?
is the
Under
love.
50%? Really?
And
About 30%.
You talking about actually being there or being
Diablo's got
on
an
time?
ace-9 of clubs here. He's going to raise it up to 300.
It's only 30%?
Yeah, I mean, it's a live straddle. I'm sorry.
Oh, he's straddled,
Yes.
so okay. Oh, no, sorry.
I'm sorry.
No, very, very, very powerful.
And it's actually straddled, so he needs to make it 400. He didn't know that Hassan was straddled. These two are going to go heads up. Hassan's got a queen 8 of diamonds. So we got an $850 pot, heads up. And look at Diablo. He's picked up a wheel draw and the nut flush draw. Deuce 3, 4, a couple clubs.
Take it down, bro.
And Diablo bets.
Picks it up.
That's one.
And he shows, I believe, the ace of clubs.
Ace high, ace of clubs.
Pretty good flop. And another straddle. Bruce Parker's going to straddle this time.
Live straddle.
Got a live straddle. And we're going to look at another chip count.
Yeah, we have Bruce there with 16,800. Yosh, it says he has 7,300, but he's actually, I think he gave about $10,000 out. And then Hassan's the big loser of the night, $4,000.
Yeah, he's down. But he hasn't made that big $10,000 rebuy that we've been looking for.
No, but he's done a couple short ones.
He has indeed.
Yeah, I would speculate he's in for about 20.
Oh, who would throw away a king of spades?
Could be.
Only who,
Could
you
be.
know who.
Seth is going to limp into him a butt with Jack 9 of clubs. Diablo's in there with King Queen.
Let me see if I want to raise here.
Looks like we're going to see four-way action times 200.
Four players.
You guys are
$800
lucky.
pot.
You guys are so lucky.
Ace 8-7. Doesn't really hit anyone here.
My only out is gone.
And it checks around. They wrap the table. The turn's a 10, and now that gives Seth on the button a straight. He's got a straight. And he bets. Look at this. He bets 200. And I don't think he can get called. Well, Diablo's got a gut shot to the jack.
And you calling?
I'm done. I folded.
He's still in there with
You
King
got that thing on
Queen.
the front then.
That's for the next hand.
No, that's a dead.
Seth has
money
bet
for
with a
me.
made straight. Diablo's got a gut shot.
He needs a
Anna,
jack.
can you please,
Nah, he's going to get rid of it. Boy, Diablo's really playing a tighter brand of poker tonight. It's amazing.
Later when you see him,
Hassan's too good looking to talk to
just make him a
And
Mexican.
Seth continues just to play ABC.
Hassan doesn't talk to
Listen,
anybody.
I just
And he continues to up that chip stack.
You know, before I could hardly talk to anybody anyway.
Beautiful person.
I'm so great.
sorry.
I'm even greater now with my head transplant.
Is James Woods got that fanny pack going on there, it looks like. Oh, no,
Yeah,
that's just his
it's not.
jacket. Just his jacket. Sorry about that.
We leave the bags to Barry.
Well, maybe Barry Woods would come down and play in this game one time.
There's your tip.
I don't think he would do bad. I honestly don't.
There's your tip.
That's a different
But you
I think he
have,
might drive some of the pros crazy with some of the calls he makes when he has the best hand, I guess.
I I've only seen him twice. I've seen him play twice, and I've seen him make great calls. You know, it's very rare that he calls when he has the worst hand. Do you see that?
Well, I saw him call with the worst hand against Kenneth James. Seth has raised
Okay.
here, pocket 10.
I didn't see that one.
Actually, it was Dimitri that raised. We can't see what he's got. Ace 8 of diamonds. Seth smooth call with 10s.
Who raised?
And it looks like James Woods, he's got pocket jacks. He just calls on the button.
Yes, because I have my, I don't have respect for you. My callers I do.
And how much was the raise pre-flop here? I think it was a bigger raise. I think it was about 600 pre-flop. So we've got about an $1,800 pot here. And Seth and James both have overpairs to this board. 7-6 deuce, couple of spades. But Dimitri leads with the ace 8. Let's see what Seth does. He's going to bet $1,500 here into, I want to say, about an $1,800 pot. The pot's $3,300. $1,500 to call. Now, what does Seth do? And
Dimitri's just a mess tonight.
He has to deal with Woods behind him.
Right?
I mean, there's so many different things that can happen in this hand. Seth, who's been playing so tight, if he raises, does James muck? Well, he just calls. Now let's see what Woods does. The pot
I
now,
hope James moves
and
in.
James
He
going to
does.
move all in here. The pot is now $5,000 with the call plus whatever James's raises, which looks like another $2,500. So it's a $7,500 pot. And actually, it's $3,500 raise, so it's an $8,500 pot. $3,500 for these guys to call.
Well,
How
once
can
again,
Dimitri
I
make
don't
the call?
even know what Dimitri's thinking about.
$8,500 pot, $3,500 to call.
And normally I would say I don't know what he's thinking about. There's no way he's going to call, but he shocked me earlier and made a call.
A bet by Dimitri, a call in between by Seth, and a re-raise all in by James Woods. And this really puts Seth in a tough spot. Again,
Yes,
we
it
don't know what
does.
Dimitri's thinking, or what he's doing. I mean, backdoor straight draw? His overcard is good. He could spike an ace. And he is still thinking here. Wow, this is incredible. He raised
He says, how do I fold this without looking like a total idiot?
He raised it 600 pre-flop. He got two callers, kind of the couple guys that have been playing it tight. He bet 1,500 on the flop. Seth called, and James has moved all in for another 3,500 more.
Get him in.
And what is he thinking about? Seth called in between, and now he gets away. And here's the real decision.
Who's the real actor at this table? I thought it was James Wood.
From what
James
I saw
Woods.
before, Shirley, when Seth...
Dimitri
Look at that.
said-
Seth makes another big laydown.
I
That's
thought
the
he
correct
would.
one.
I thought
What
he
we
would.
saw before when he was against Mo with the ace-jack in the pocket tens.
See that because I'm going to see it anyway.
And this time, James does not
He does
show.
not show.
Well, sometimes it's a little bit unorthodox because you're thinking there, if you're Seth with pocket tens, if I was up against a bigger overpair, wouldn't the pre-flop action have been re-raised, especially to a guy who's on the button? But he chose just a smooth call with jacks, and sometimes people will do that and they get tricky. I think he probably thought that maybe James even had a bigger hand than that, maybe a set
Like
or
a set.
something. Could have flopped a straight.
There we saw. That's James' hand.
And
This
even if
time,
he has
5-6.
something like straight with a flush draw, the odds are really close with two cards to come, you know. James had something like an open-ended straight with a flush draw.
Right.
Or even, for that matter, overcards to the tens with a flush draw. Yosh is raised here to 500 with pocket queens, and Bruce, he's called in the big blind with king 4. Bruce checks. Wow, Yosh checks right behind him. Turns a club. You know, I think that some of these pros really know exactly where these whales are at. I mean, it's almost like Yosh can check to flop because he'll know if Bruce has an ace, because Bruce will bet into the turn. And if he doesn't, now Yosh knows he's good. And now he bets.
I think that if,
You know?
yeah.
Because, I mean, a lot of times, I mean, you're going to bet in there heads up against one person. Pocket queen's in position, one overcard.
We need a doctor on site.
I'm superstitious that way. How can I not play?
Yoshis have put in a straddle here.
Live straddle.
At least, yeah.
So Yosh is going to straddle here.
Slow down, Cowboy.
Give him this 50,000.
Nice hand, James. You can tell us now, or do I gotta wait till the night? To
And Diablo's going to raise.
800.
Pocket 7.
Yeah, and it's getting folded around to the blind, so these guys are heads up. Wow, he made him a deal. He made it 800. Then he said, I'll make it 400 for you. And Yosh said, I'll call
Yosh
400.
said, okay, I'll call.
Oh, my goodness. And set over top pair now. And these guys are both deep. $600 bet here.
Yosh
And
calls.
Yosh just smooth calls. The turn is a 6. See how much Diablo pushes now.
oh, yeah.
It's a $2,000 pot right now. And Diablo's going to bet 1,500.
And will
Let-
Yosh just flat call? Or was he going to put in a raise?
Well, what about if he folds?
He's
Oh, he's going to call. It looks like he's going to make the call.
They picked
So-
up the straight draw.
Yeah.
With that
Now
turn
the
card.
flop, now the river is an ace. The pot is $5,000 now. Diablo has the winning hand, and he moves all in.
But I didn't enjoy it.
He moves all in. He has moved all in now.
I wish I had 3 aces.
And sitting in the garage.
I think the ace might be a little bit of an action killer. The $5,000 pot, Diablo moves all in for what looks like almost another 5,000 more with those stacks. So it's about a 10. Actually,
Yeah, because he moved all in.
yeah, he moved all in, but
So it's 9,000. He only pushed out. He pushed out 5.
Yeah.
But he has 4 sitting right in front of him.
so
All,
we're,
all
so
nine
we're
of them
talking
set.
now about a $14,000 pot, 9,000 for Yosh to call. $14,000 pot, 9,000 for Yosh to call.
Here or here, where you want them?
And look at this, Diablo's
You want 'em
egging him
here or you
on.
want 'em there?
And again, it comes down. It's like, how do you know, how can you make the call with Jack 3 here? Unless you just thought the Diablo's bluffing the entire way. But the ace comes on the river now.
Aces full of queens. And I lose.
But now Yosh is thinking, well, does it make sense? I mean, with the guy a bet with ace king, and now he's going to move in when he hits it here on the river, or is he just trying to bluff me off the hand?
I said all in. I'm just saying if I don't cover you, 'cause I don't want you to.
I had ace queen.
$14,000 pot, 9,000 for Yosh to call.
And Diablo's just messing with him. He won't leave him alone.
And actually, you know, I think that Diablo probably has more than Yosh, so Yosh would have to call whatever he has left there. 5 or 6 or whatever he has.
Obviously not. And then
I
on
don't know if
Sunday,
Yosh has 9,000. It doesn't quite look like
on what's
it.
the 5? He's at the table. It's a little wild game. And
Let me
shows the
shuffle
3.
up, open up with the one you want.
I don't know why I stayed in the hand with like this.
He's saying open up one. I mean,
Suited, and I
doesn't that give it away a little bit?
Pretty much.
I bet 1,000, he bets 2,000, I go
Why
all
would
in,
you
he
do
has
that? It
ace high
doesn't make any
flush.
sense. Well,
That means I have at least 2 pairs.
Yeah.
Maybe a set.
yeah. And Yosh wants.
1,001? What is that?
What?
1,001?
Can I have a rack now? I gotta get out of here, Donna. You quitting?
It's pretty incredible there.
No, the
Yeah,
two players.
let me play the last one. Yeah, I can wait over there.
I think Diablo's going to go and play a shootout that Mo is organizing.
Right.
Guy in the 10 seat had the ace high flush. I had the king high flush. The guy over here had the queen high flush. All flops.
Straddle.
And a guy staying with pocket deuces and made quads on the river. And that's the truth.
I believe it. But
Here
what's
we have
the-
another
what's the
straddle.
odds of you flopping it?
117.78 to 1 to flop a flush. So 3 guys flopping a flush.
Yes, sir.
Big.
Yep, another straddle.
Sorry that I know that's the truth.
This time it's by
But-
Dimitri.
I'm actually impressed.
Option.
Exactly what it is.
17.78.
I'm
Exactly what it is.
Wait, wait, wait.
178 to 1.
What's that?
To flop a flush.
That's right. Exactly.
Dimitri's going to check here. We got to see his cards over there in C3.
This 4-way action.
17.78 to 118.
Queen 4-4.
5-way.
And Yosh has flopped trip 4s. 5 people in the pot. Doesn't look like anyone has a queen here from what I see.
Yeah, I have. Oh, not in the 5 card.
Nope.
No, no live shot.
No, we got flop.
It was a live shot. It was a flop.
Pot was straddled, so it's $1,000 pot.
The worst hand you could possibly imagine.
7.
And we're going to see
Get it right down now.
a bet here, I believe. Did someone say 7? Seat 9 is bet. He's going to make a little bluff at it. And it looks like Yosh is going to check raise.
Can you give me another rock on?
He's going to make it 1,600 more. And obviously, Mike was just making a little bet to try to steal that money.
Let it go.
I think it puts you on king, queen.
Hey, you can leave your chips here. We don't have a board yet.
You know, it's okay once in a while to just muck your hand right away.
I think that's part of this game, just the posturing that goes on and the acting.
Cuñado, what's my money?
Michael mucks, and Yosh takes it down.
Yeah, but are you done?
And again, Yosh by far is the big winner tonight. He just doesn't have that many chips because he's given them away to Hassan.
That's why I was kind of wondering if he had called Diablo's all in bet with the 5,000 that he loaned.
Don't do that next time, man.
Well, you know, the other thing, too, is that I know for a fact that in a restricted buy-in game that's not this game, like the 200 or the 3 to 5, they would not allow that. You can't take chips off the table like that.
Well,
Hey, Diablo, put your zipper up, man. Zipper.
But, again, sometimes these guys just kind of make up their own rules as they go along.
Thank you, man. Thank you, man.
400.
And this game is only played on this night. You know, they don't play this game on a regular basis, so they might not necessarily even be privy to the rules of what's supposed to
yeah,
go
well,
on.
I mean, Yosh might have, you know, first off, the money didn't come off the table. It actually just moved to another player.
But you wouldn't be able to do that.
But
you can't take money from your stack.
But
yeah.
in this game, maybe, you know, Yosh could say, I'm 5,000 behind, and all the other players know that he's 5,000 behind.
Well, he might be doing
So,
that.
yeah,
We don't
he
know
might be
that.
doing
I don't
that.
know if we can get confirmation on that or not.
Should we just stop first?
Oh, yeah. I don't think she's going to go ask him.
We all made a commitment.
I know, and I got to explain that to Mo. So, but let's play. I mean,
Well, it's short-handed. It's like I don't want to play this short-handed.
So,
What's
now,
going on here? Are we short?
well, Diablo's going to leave, and then he's going to go play the tournament, and Dimitri's not sitting at the table, and now the players are talking about not wanting to play shorthanded.
Yeah, it's not to our advantage because, you know, pros can play short-handed better than we can.
So,
Bet I am short-handed.
Well, and James is saying it's not to our advantage. I don't want to play this game
It's on a
shorthanded.
pause.
Pros can play it better shorthanded
This guy,
than we
yeah,
can.
no problem.
So
Take wife and
we will desperately try to get people back to the table out there. Our floor hosts quickly working on it, I'm sure. And to give us a chance to say that tonight's show is brought to you by Poker Blue. Oh, is Jesus going to come into the game, I'm getting word? Is he going to come in the game? Oh, my! This is going to be great. Strap on your seatbelt, folks. He's got a wad of cash on him. And here we go.
we need chips for this gentleman.
I deal him in, right? So he
No,
missed.
deal him out.
see, you know, he's a legend, and I have no clue who he is, but I've heard his name so many times.
Here we go.
He's at the blind.
You're saying strap on your seatbelt because he's a wild player?
You got it.
And he had all kinds of cash, too.
Yep. He's in for 5,000. And this is going to be some good stuff. And Yosha's going to raise here.
Ball here.
500, and Jesus quickly calls with 3-5 of clubs. We can't see what Yosh has over there in seat 2.
There he goes.
King, Queen. And Bruce has got King 10, and
Yes,
he's in
King
there.
10.
Jesus has got a shot here.
Yes, he
A
does.
couple of the kings are dead.
But, I mean, you hit a pair, you don't know, have no clue where you are.
Yeah, but he still go in with it, though. That's the beauty
Oh,
of
he-
it.
okay.
Yeah, 10, 9, 8 here. Bruce has got top pair. It gets checked around. The turn's a queen. Now Yosh has picked up top pair. And now Yosh is going to bet.
15.
He bets 1,500, the size of the pot.
Checking back if there's spades.
15.
And He mucks. Wow, and Bruce is going to check raise to 5,000. He doesn't have the best hand now. He's got king 10.
No, but it's gonna. I think it's gonna work here.
And look at this, Yosh quickly
because all
gets
someone
away
needs
from
is
the
a
hand.
jack.
Yeah.
And Yosh didn't have one.
Check
so.
raises to 5,000 and takes down a $3,000 pop there. Incredible. Yeah, you got to respect, those guys that don't tend to make a lot of moves unless they have it.
Mm-hmm.
Very tough for Yosh to call there.
Oh, it's tough to make that move. I don't know if I would have been able to do that. Like I said, all someone needs is a jack.
Yep. Call me Dick Enberg, I guess, with that oh my comment, but it's interesting. See seat 5, and he seems like he's always in seat 5. And you wonder if these guys know who they're dealing with.
James just loaned him some money. Said, "Here, take one of my stacks."
Well, he's got
money.
He's got 5,000 behind.
Right.
Gave him to the chip girl. 6-way action here, limped around. 5-5-10.
And then Bruce Parker has the best hand.
Yeah, he checks it. The
10
turn's
jack.
a 4. No one has a 5 here. James Woods bets 100 with king 4. Bruce calls with the top pair. And C2 calls with 6-8. Now the river's a 5. So the board reads 5-10, 4-5. 5. And now Bruce Parker's going to bet here.
You looked at one card, so you actually have one of those cards out there, do you? Which one do you have, the 5 or the 10?
Wow, Yosh chased that. Well, I guess it was only a $100 bet. That was why. I said he called on the turn, 6-8. And now James is trying to figure out, is his hand good? But again, you got to watch and look. Bruce really hasn't made a lot of moves.
Right, and well, James just said, "I don't think my 4 is good."
Yeah, and he mucks.
And you're saying it doesn't matter if it's only a $100 bet to Yosh. He has 6-8. Even if he catches a 6 or an 8, he can't beat a 5 and he can't beat a 10.
No, I know.
So why call?
Well, I think the pot was 600, and I guess he was thinking, now it's
if I
800.
Hit my 6,
well,
it'll be good.
It's 800 over to me, and he was getting 8-1, but yeah, I mean, it is kind of tough because he's probably not going to get paid off. Either that, or he could really lose a big pot too. I mean, if he was looking for action to come there, in terms of what he was looking for the implied odds, he could really lose it. He could lose a big pot if it's someone slow playing something and it's double paired.
How's he going to lose a big pot? If he hits a 6 or an 8, he only has 2 pair.
If he hits a straight, he had a gut shot. That's what he was going for there. 4-5. He had 6-8. I think that he was chasing the gut shot.
Oh, he called it on the turn.
Yeah, he called it on the turn.
Gotcha.
Yeah. It's
Okay.
a $100 bet. It got checked around on the flop.
I was thinking he called it on the flop.
I think they're going to chop this one up. Jimmy Woods and Hassan Habib.
Okay, then.
Jimmy, you want something to eat from the grill? Or would you like something from the grill?
I'm going to order something later on.
Okay, so we have
Look at this. We're looking. Looks like we get a post on 2+2 here by Jonas. Riverboat King. 400. Get to that after this. Yeah. Got a raise here by Yosh. Jonas says that Mo called me to invite me today. However, I never actually spoke with him to confirm that I would make it. It turned out that I couldn't make it to play, and by the comments made in this thread, it seems as though I missed out. I don't really like playing in restricted buying games, but it sounds as though there's quite some money on this table. And he says, I'm going to try to make it next week. And he has been primarily playing 20, 40, and 50, 100 no limit.
At other casinos.
Around town.
Yeah.
Got a straddle here by seat 2. And Seth is raised. He's made it 700 with pocket 8s. Hassan's going to call on the button. See what Hassan has.
I would hope he has something good because Seth hasn't been involved in many hands at all.
He's got pocket jacks.
Pocket jacks.
He's smooth call with pocket jacks.
That makes sense.
Ooh, ace-5 king. You wonder
and
if
you're not liking that flop.
If Seth bets into the flop, he might take it down. He bets 800. Wow, and Hassan calls him in position. turns a queen, and Hassan's hand just gets worse and worse. And let's see if Seth keeps firing.
Well, yeah. It's not really getting, his hand's not really getting worse.
And he bets 1,000 here. Well, it's worse and worse to what the board is showing,
Well,
that's for sure.
Well, he has the best hand.
And look at
I mean,
this,
his
he
hand
mucks
hasn't-
it. He mucks it. I mean, it's just one of those times when you've got the tightest player at the table
Betting into
firing
you.
into you on a board of ace, king, queen, and you look down at
Yeah,
jacks.
you're not liking your hand.
Yeah, and he raised under the gun, I think.
Mm-hmm.
And Seth was not gun shy there. I think maybe he knew, maybe thought that if his son had really was comfortable with his hand there on the flop, that he may have raised him.
Mm-hmm.
So he might have thought that his son was just going to smooth call, see what happened on the turn. He did have position.
3 out of 4.
Pretty good.
And anybody can win in a 3-hour.
400.
Got a $400 raise here by Hassan. 6-3 offsuit. Yosh is going to call with Jack Deuce suited. It's just absolutely incredible. King Queen 8. Hassan's going to bet here 900. Yosh has the best hand, but didn't.
He's
pick a
done
piece
with
of
it.
And he mucks.
We have to talk about this funny post here. This is from Russ McGinley on 2+2.
Yeah.
He's in reference to Jesus just sitting down. He said, and Jonas, about him coming in the game. He said, you would clean up in this game with ease. Now Jesus is in the game. Good God, it's like a malfunctioning ATM machine spewing cash everywhere.
Yep.
So confirming that Jonas
If anyone's ever
cleaned up.
seen one of those malfunctioning ATM machines, it's always nice to be around one.
Call
of
me,
those.
please.
Yep.
Have you ever seen one?
No.
No.
No, I think that's
I
kind of
don't
an
even
urban
know
legend.
I don't even know if there's such a thing. Pocket kings again for Bruce Parker. He's had some big hands. It's a couple kings I think he's had.
He brings it in for
3.
400. And Jesus is called with Jack 9 of diamonds, and Seth is in there, Queen 8 of clubs. Deuce, deuce 5.
You heard that, Bruce?
And Bruce is not a bad flop for pocket kings here.
Jimmy is one of the top 64 players in the world.
Yes, I'm on
He was there for that. Hassan, you were there.
like the coach, yeah.
You were there.
Oh, that was sweet.
600.
600?
Bruce is going to bet 600 here. Little small bet, but no one really has anything to call with, and he takes it down.
Yosh,
Wow. I wish I was in that.
Yosh, you outplayed Johnny a couple of times.
Now, the reason why I always liked the way that Jonas played here, and we haven't seen him in months, is that he seems like the type of player like Mo that really could read a player and had great poker instincts, and would just kind of know sometimes, I know my bottom pair is good, I'm going to call you down in position. I don't care what you fire at me, I can read you. I know my hand's good. Or I can check raise you with anything because I know by the way that you're acting that you have nothing. And we don't really see a lot of those players.
Right.
Because usually in cash games, you can almost play it a little bit straightforward and still win. But, I mean, if you've got that ability,
Listen, make it 300 or 100, right?
it's a huge advantage.
Limped pot.
Got a 5-way action here, limped around. And James Woods limped in with an ace-jack in early position, ace-8-6 on the flop. And Woods is going to lead here for about a pot-sized bet. And
What happened to Dimitri?
he's going to take it down.
Both of them went into a $1,000 shootout.
That's ridiculous.
Does Jesus speak Spanish or English? Because it looks like he just sits there straight,
He can
Does
speak both languages.
Oh, he does.
Yeah.
So does he talk at the table once in a while?
He does sometimes,
Okay.
especially when he starts pounding Coronas.
It's not right for them to do it to you and for you to do it to us. To get us to commit when they don't have to play.
Yeah, no,
And I think they were talking about
like Dimitri, he comes here every Wednesday.
Mo started a shootout, and we're going to take a look at another chip count here. So Bruce is up again. He's at 15,900. Diablo's over 12,000, but he's away from the table.
This isn't right.
And Yosh has 4,400 there, but again, I still think that he's up a lot.
600.
But Seth, I think he might actually be
He's
the big
doing
winner.
well,
Yeah.
You're telling me somebody pulled him out of the game.
Myself, you just try to
Well,
What happened was that
Whoever that is.
Mo scheduled a shootout, They're complaining because it killed some of the action because,
Only took one player out of the game.
well, I think Dimitri and Diablo are both gone.
Oh, okay.
And Jesus might have been already knocked out of the shootout, and that's why he's over here at this table.
Bruce, I'm not arguing with you, but it's something I have to.
No wonder why they're upset. Dimitri's out of the game.
Yeah.
I apologize.
Okay, I accept.
It's a misunderstanding is what it is.
So it's a little misunderstanding, miscommunication. I'm sure that it will be straightened out.
They're greedy, or he's greedy, or being disrespectful, or he was up a little and wanted to get out of the game, or something.
No, it's a misunderstanding. That's
Well, you know, obviously it doesn't seem like Bruce is familiar with Mo. Bruce is saying
No,
that
right.
Mo was greedy, he was up, and he wants to just get out of the game. That's just not the case. So I'm going to say it there straight. And Bruce is a very, very nice guy. I talked with him before the show, and it just seems to me that he just doesn't know Mo.
Well, I don't know
Yeah.
if he was. Mo wasn't up in the game, was he?
I'm not on tilt at all. I just
Yeah, well, I think he was up a little bit,
No,
but
I'm not.
you know, it's just that's not the case.
I just want him to know that if I want to get up and leave now, I just want to feel free to.
Board is 8-5, Queen 5, and the river's a 4. And James is going to bet. Looks like to try to. He's got a pair
His
of
pair of
fours.
fours. Hassan even laid down his pair of eights there. Oh, all right.
No, I think what Bruce is saying that it just seems like, well, you kind of make a commitment to this game that you're going to play during the webcast, and then you're not going to get up and leave. And he thought that Mo just kind of did a little bit of a hit and run, even though he didn't really win that much money. But it's just not the case because Mo is actually his first priority is to host these no limit things at the bike. It's what his job is.
Right.
You know. Jesus is going to come in here. He's got ace queen. He makes it 400.
Okay, this was one of the things I didn't. Yes, he finally lays down
We had
ace rag there.
ace rag offsuit.
Yeah, well, he's been playing ace rag last night, and I saw him once tonight so far.
Well, yeah, he had called a big raise last night with like ace 6 suited for like maybe 9 times the big blind, and I think he only had maybe 350
Not
left
enough
in the
behind
3
him.
to 5 game now. That was a little bit questionable. And Yoshi's going to straddle here.
Chips, please. 00. Live straddle.
Marina, can I get a marker? Blank, please.
Are you low?
Huh?
You low on chips?
Yeah, it looks like it.
And again, it's a little bit strange because Yoshi's low on chips, but he hasn't lost in the game. I think he's just been giving his chips away as loans to some of the other players. So.
Let's gamble.
I don't know what happened.
And there's a straddle here, and Yosh, he's going to try to take advantage of the limpers on the straddle, and he moves all in with 8-9 off suit. Wow. And he shows it.
The only other
Oldsmobile
players I saw in the
89,
hand was
that-
the 8-9 and the
Is that
6-7.
called Oldsmobile? 8-9?
I don't know.
I don't know. I've never heard that one before.
88?
And Yoshi's playing, we're getting word that Yoshi's playing 10,000 behind.
James limps. Deuce 5. Hassan makes it 300.
Hassan's got King.
King 9 of diamonds.
Yep, King 9 of diamonds. James has got a Jack 10. Yoshi's in the hand. We can't see what he has.
He'll put it on. He seems to think that you only put it on if you're going to play.
Well, he is playing.
Yeah, well.
He's got Jack 7 off suit. And flop comes Queen 5 deuce.
7.
And Hassan's going to bet here. No one really hit anything here. And he's going to take it down.
Hassan, 105. Yoshi take an extra.
So Yoshi's going to play 10,000 behind.
After he raised me 400.
Blinds here. 120, please.
And I think that Hassan just won that hand. It was a collection pot.
And I had spades.
Lines here, please.
I'm playing 10,000 behind.
The last hand I did.
Putt moves over to seat 9. We really haven't heard much from tonight. Mike Wu.
My card key, what is that you got?
And he turns out the ace of clubs and the queen of spades, and there's no spades.
How you gonna turn it out?
And he thought, he says, he thought he
He's talking about one of the hands last night.
Yeah, James Woods is talking about that hand that he won at the last hand of the night last night.
When the guy had ace queen, he thought he had spades, and James had the nut spades.
Yeah, that's always nice.
You didn't say anything out yet?
Three-way action here.
3 players.
Limped around. King, queen, 4.
Okay, you know what?
James has hit second pair. Yosh has an ace 3 over there in seat 2. Woods is going to bet.
It's in the back seat. Can you bring that back? And what do you
And he probably is going to take this one down.
Excuse me. Can you put that
Call him Solid Seth over there in seat 4. We haven't
Yeah,
seen
there
him
you
do
go.
anything out of line.
Yeah, we need to go from the girl.
I think Hassan's phone ring is candy shop.
Yep.
Food's good in there.
Huh?
Food's good from there.
Yeah.
And he's going to either have to get up from the table or not play the hand.
Hague's personal restaurant.
Do you have a sushi bar here too?
We will. I'm building the sushi bar.
And he's going to limp, so he's definitely going to need to get off the phone.
No limit sushi.
Low limit?
Maybe we can hold the dealer's flop here to get him off the phone. There we go. Okay, we got it limped around.
Although I have to say,
4 players.
And the flop comes King, 10, 5, couple of spades.
it's a phenomenal.
Yeah, it is.
Oh, God, that's
A couple people have 10s here. The turn's a 4.
400.
well, I mean, I've never seen a menu.
And now Seth is going to lead with
You know the total?
10.
This 10, yeah.
And Hassan has a better kicker.
Really? I don't know. I just
$400 bet and a call. River's a jack.
Elijah's a beautiful,
And he bets again here. He's going to bet 500. And is Hassan going to lay this one down with the best hand again? And he
think
does
he is.
again. And Seth uses that tight image to bluff one off again. And, there's a couple things that can happen there on the river. Seth might have been making a little bit of a defensive bet there at the end. Or he might have thought that his hand was no good and he had to bet Hassan off at the end. But the
If you
small
think
nature...
your hand's not good, put a little bit bigger.
That's what I was
huh?
going to say. The small nature of the bet seems, I think that he was kind of putting a defensive bet in there, kind of trying to name his price. And it worked for him because Hassan mucked. So, I mean, I got to tell you, if I was at that table, I probably wouldn't get involved in seat 4 either.
Right.
Go ahead.
You know what I'm saying? What do you got to do? What's my choice? I got to be victimized.
You could pay more.
Pot is limped around.
I got to be prepared to be.
King, queen, deuce. Jesus has a flush draw. And Hassan is going to bet with top pair, king 8. And Yosh is called with jack 10 of diamonds, and Jesus is in there. And there's the flush for Jesus. And he checks. Hassan bets. He's going to continue to bet. He bets 700. And let's see Jesus push that rack forward. There it is. I called it. Boom. And Hassan. Look at that. I think he faked him out. Hassan faked him out.
I was just acting. I was throwing it away anyway.
Hassan faked him out. He took the money. What an
That
angle.
was already out
What
there
an
and threw
angle.
it.
He took the money that he already had out there, made it look like he was going to call the all-in, and he got Jesus to quickly turn over his cards. Wow, these guys have got all kinds of
Funny,
things.
but I was throwing it away, you know. Yeah,
I don't.
I was just acting, you know. I was going to throw it away. I was trying to be stupid.
Yeah, in Hassan's defense, I'm sure he wasn't trying to angle.
Well,
He was
I guess
just
there are
messing
kind of funny
around.
angles in that. I'm not saying it was like a
Yeah.
ridiculous one, but I thought it was interesting nonetheless.
Thank you, sir. For letting me live. Check.
Three-way action here. Ace,
Check
9,
around.
7, couple of hearts. Queen on the turn. Well, Yosh has a queen, and he's going to bet
A small
100.
little bet.
That looks like it's going to be enough.
200.
No comprende español.
Oh, he gets called. Bruce called with him with the 6 of hearts, and he gets there with the flush, and Yosh has made 2 pairs now.
I got a flush.
Diablo's back. He must have gotten knocked out of the tournament.
Huh?
What's the buy-in on this game?
And wow, Bruce called him with pocket sixes with the 6 of hearts. And he made it on the river. So Diablo's back. Jesus is at the table. Jesus just won a pot. We can see some action. Got about a half an hour left in the show.
I would have called anything up to about 1,500.
They talking very bad about you.
What they talking about? Better me? Oh, you're a witness? Oh, when Jesus says that, oh, you guys are better. Oh, all in.
You're Jesus?
Button is in seat 6.
Francisco.
Jesus. Huh? Oh, Jesus, Jesus, and El Diablo.
Who's Francisco?
Francisco left.
Oh,
Hey.
you left? Okay.
Hey, they talk
And it's going to get limped around here.
Francisco came and put you in the
And they're going to chop it up.
Chop it.
You think I would let anybody say
They haven't been doing that.
It just kind of surprises me. Like, if I'm Hassan Habib and I'm a professional poker player, and I got Bruce Parker, who's a nice guy, you know, retired employee of, and, you know, senior vice president of sales at Callaway Golf. I make my living off of this. Why wouldn't I want to try to play that guy heads up?
Right.
And it's not necessarily that Bruce is a bad player, but I'm Hassan Habib. I mean, that's what would be going through my mind. You know?
Yeah. Well, I mean, professionals have to be able to play, you know, heads up like that.
But I guess they just don't want to get
Never
involved.
watched him.
They're complaining about
the table?
Mo.
Are you serious?
Because I told
When you
them
can start
guys
doing
don't
that?
play till 9 o'clock. They said
Always?
Doing what?
That's what happened.
Oh.
It wasn't about you. And I explained to him it's a
You want a
misunderstanding
chop?
between me
Oh, no,
and
he's
you.
in.
But
Back
I'll
off.
straighten out with him.
And then what happened? Why?
Jesus has ace queen, and he limped in. And Parker and Wu are going to get cheap rides in the blind. And Jesus he flops top pair.
You gotta play till 9 o'clock.
And he bets.
But what did they say?
Looks
Mike
like
has
a check to
2-3.
Jesus.
Yeah, he doesn't have anything.
Can't see what Bruce has.
Yeah, but I think he's just waiting to fold. I think he's like, I'm not even bothering showing my hand. I don't even want to play
I
it.
have too many crazy dogs. Yes.
And he shows the ace queen.
But I don't like dogs. That's the only one.
And normally that's a hand that Jesus would come in
I
raising
like only
with.
crazy bitches.
But Diablo continues to brag about his women.
But Jesus, so I'm okay to, me pay a roll-up?
You said what they say about
He says he doesn't like crazy dogs, he only likes crazy bitches.
I'm thinking about this.
Yeah, go ahead, go ahead.
I'm going to go empty my
He's
bladder.
character.
Yo, swing me 1,000.
Next one.
Okay.
Come on, don't leave.
I'm gonna go. Can I? You guys wanna bend over and I don't have to go anywhere. That's the Mexicano style.
That's
Bend
very
over,
nice.
I wanna take a
That's
leak.
very nice.
We're not expecting those.
Who won that last spot?
Well, it looks like Barry Woods is in the house on the thread on 2+2.
Right.
Like I said, maybe I wonder if he would come down and play in this game next week.
And who's Henry
I don't
that he's
know.
referring to?
They don't believe it. You know why I come over here?
Queen 8-3 here.
Over here for you.
All spades. Bruce has got the nut in position. He didn't bet. Turns a 6. Nut flush draw.
Yes, that's what I think.
And Yosh has got Jack 9. He's going to fire. Bet 700. And Bruce has a pair as well. He's got a
Yeah, he
pair
does.
and the nut flush draw, and he checked the flop and he calls Yosh on the turn. River is the king. Now, if Yosh fires one more time here, I mean, there's no way his hand is good in a showdown. Especially if he thinks that Bruce was on a flush draw.
No.
And Yosh is trying to figure it out here. The pot's about 1,800, and he's going to bet 2,000.
I think I
First,
missed.
finish the bottle and then go empty it, right?
We talk ahead of time.
And Bruce
Bruce
mucks.
mucks.
And yeah, Bruce kind of cornered himself there. He's a guy, like I said, he's a really, really nice guy, and he says he subscribes to the archives. He's trying to improve his play. He tries to watch the play and, take different things there from it. He just, heads up. I got ace-3 with the ace of spades. Yosh checks. The only thing that I might think of if I check behind him is I'm going to raise him as
On
a
the
move
turn,
on
no
the
matter
turn.
what?
Yeah.
Mhm.
I mean, he just basically let Yosh buy that pot because
Yeah.
he didn't show any strength. The problem is if you're going to play it that way,
Well, we try to play 8.
Yosh is going to bet into you like he did here on the turn with nothing. Now you call. Well, if a spade comes, you're not going to get any money off of him.
Right.
So you're really calling, not giving yourself any implied odds, especially if you have the intention of folding if you don't get there. if an ace or another 3 or a spade, doesn't
On
count.
that last hand, you had nothing?
He bluffed you.
I mean, you're giving yourself 1-to-1 odds. Whatever the dead money is in the pot, which wasn't much
Jack high?
before that.
Second best no pair.
Very limp.
I couldn't beat no pair.
Couple
but I could beat the
limpers.
second best no pair. Bruce.
I just want to make
Jesus playing that ace rag.
He's folded.
3-way action limped around. James Woods,
I
boy,
didn't know I stole
he's up
it.
like 5 or 6 grand.
Yeah, he's doing well.
You know, sometimes I bluff. I
10,
get the best
7,
hand.
6 here on the flop.
200 no lose.
Jesus is going to bet 200 on bottom pair. His hand looks good.
It is good. It's pretty sad.
And Bruce makes the call. He's got a
Hoping
gut shot
for a
to the
4.
4. Oh, and the 4 comes off.
It's a perfect 4 too.
And it goes
This is
check,
a flush
check.
draw.
And the river's a 6. Uh-oh. Uh-oh. Jesus is going to bet here with trip 6s. He bets 800, and if Bruce knew anything about Jesus, boy, would I come over the top here in a flash. He's
He
just
just
going to
calls.
call. He's just going to call. I mean, if Jesus bets in the river, he's got something huge there. I mean, he comes out. If you looked at how excited he was on the river, he bet out on the flop, checked the turn, bet the river. Boy, you'd be like, boy, if he's got trip 6s, I got them all. I might.
You think that if he moved in, he could get every chip that Jesus had?
100%.
Really?
100%.
Jesus wouldn't even think about it?
Not even close. Look, how about you? If you had ace 6, wouldn't you call that spot? I mean, it's difficult. I mean, you think the guy might have a weaker 6.
I don't know.
They
It's
get
a
to put
small
up-
pot.
They get another chip count here. Bruce he's way up over.
Yeah, he's doing great
He's
again.
over somewhere around 19 or 20,000. Yosh has got 14.5.
And when I'll add to that, if I want to fight,
I mean,
And
go back.
Hassan's still struggling.
Surely. And the other thing about the action of that hand was that when Bruce got there on the turn with the straight, he's in position. He checked behind Jesus.
Right.
He checked behind him with the straight.
Right.
Now a 6 comes. I bet in with ace 6. I get 2,500 left. Jesus moves me all. Bruce moves me all in.
But you don't. He doesn't have 2,500. He has over 4,000 there.
It doesn't.
And that pot
well,
was only there was only like
It doesn't matter.
$1,800, $2,000 in that pot.
Doesn't matter. It's he would have called there in a heartbeat.
Well,
In an
you were
absolute
asking me if I
heartbeat.
would call, and I would not call $4,000 for
Run-
a $2,000 pot.
Run back
in
in
a
the hand in
heartbeat.
your head.
In
Well,
a heartbeat,
okay,
I would
in a
not. I mean, I would.
I'm going to wait.
Not maybe
And,
not in a heartbeat.
and against Bruce, probably not.
You know what? I actually had a joker and
Heads up here.
it was terrible. I was so bad. I had nothing.
Well, maybe not against Bruce from what we've seen that he's called with pretty much the
Yeah,
nuts
there you
every
go.
time. So I can see what you're saying there. He called with a straight earlier in the night, and now he just calls with a straight here.
Mm-hmm.
means it would hurt.
Now Jesus, I believe, has bet here. Oh, he checked, and now Yosh is going to bet with bottom pair. Bets 900.
Because you can see it anyway later, but I'll show you.
And
You can. I told you I got a big one.
Yosh is going to
Oh,
take it
not a
down.
bluff. Not a bluff.
Oh, but of course, I mean, you might not be as familiar with Jesus as I am because I do the Friday
That's
night
true.
shows.
I'm not familiar with him at all.
All that money would have been in there in a flash. And the other thing, too, is, you know, like I said, you know, I think Jesus led like 800 in,
I had at least top here.
you know, on the river in that hand.
I thought it was 6, but regardless,
Regardless.
okay.
And I know what you're saying. He's got 4,000 left. Now the pot's about,
It was only like 2,000.
yeah, let's say the pot's like 2,000, and now Bruce Parker puts me all in for another 4,000.
There we go. Oh, now he's going to bait me a little.
Well, again, because it's Bruce, it's a different situation, but you're sitting there with ace 6, unless you think the guy was just slow playing a full house.
Right.
Put it this way, it's not an insane call. And
No, it's not.
Jesus would have called with top pair, so
Right.
it's not even an issue.
Right.
We got 4-way action here.
I wish I could remember what I had.
And
I'm not saying,
there was a
you know.
razor here, and it was seat 2, Yosh with the king queen. The flop comes jack 10-4, a couple of diamonds.
500.
And Bruce is going to lead right out here with king jack, right into Yosh. And Yosh is going to call. He's got an open-ended straight draw.
Yosh?
Jesus has an open-ended straight draw as well. Boy, and if a king comes off, you know, Bruce will have 2 pair. Jesus will have a straight.
Yosh will have top pair and a straight draw.
Turns a 4.
But I heard check, you know what I'm saying? I just...
1,200.
Now Bruce is going to lead more. He's going to bet 1,200.
don't have to look back.
And Yosh calls again.
I'm giving away the best hand.
It's okay.
Now, if the king comes here, Bruce is still going to win. Yes, Jesus mucks.
Right.
Kings and jacks. Now the river's a deuce. And Bruce is checked. And now Yosh, she's thinking,
You know
well,
what? I think you're ready to call.
Yosh says, I think you're ready to call, and I think he is. And King Jack is good here. To the tune of about a $4,000 to $5,000 pot. Bruce takes down another one. Boy, and he is on a roll.
I was waiting for you.
Absolutely. And again, if I say that Bruce is an archive subscriber and he watches this show, I'm sure that he won't make that same mistake twice if he ever gets a chance to play Jesus again.
Yeah, and
I mean, if Jesus leads into you and you've got a monster, there's no getting fancy with it. You just move.
Okay.
Because
So you're so much more familiar with him that
it's not even an issue. It's not even a question. And like I said, I'm sure that he will not make that mistake twice. Got a live straddle here.
It's one of those perfect nights. They have monsters or nothing. Perfect.
That is perfect.
live straddle and everyone folded to him. He actually had ace jack.
Yeah, ace jack.
Nothing in between. Aces or 7-2s? Perfect.
Oh, look at this. Got an emailer. Marianne Jarvis, could you please ask Donna to give Jesus a kiss on the cheek for me? Well, that lady seems to creep out of the woodwork all the time. Every time. It looks like she's a loyal fan.
I don't know. They brought it to me here.
There he is, the myth, the legend. I haven't worn that JLT, Jesus Love Tuckman hat, that often.
What?
I'm quitting at 9 o'clock.
$400 raise here.
The marker's back.
Got a Hassan, ace-5 offsuit. Parker calls, ace-10 offsuit.
I have 10,000 behind.
Hello?
Huh?
And
I bought in for 10.
we're going to see a flop.
One marker for 10. Ooh.
8, 5, 3. Hassan brought this one in with ace-5. And Hassan's going to bet with the ace-5.
Is he in there?
1,500. Bruce looks like he's going to muck the ace-10.
I know I got
Wait, I got to say that I think Bruce is the big winner tonight.
I can't show you.
I'm all in anyway.
Yeah, but they're in the hand.
Yeah, it certainly looks that way.
He is.
Yeah, I
Again,
think
it's
you're right.
incredible.
2 players?
Nice.
I have that beat. Could you beat ace 10?
And Jesus mucks. Hassan takes it down. And Hassan is kind of settled down here in the latter part of the show.
He doesn't have any more rebuys left.
I have 10. Yo, I
His
have 10
pocket's
behind.
empty.
Yosh, what happened to my wine, dude? Yeah.
Jesus is in the big blind here.
Well, honey,
Here. Give it to him, dealer. Give it to him.
yeah, well, yeah. 50?
Looks like we got Jesus is going to raise out of the big blind
Look at this hand.
because we're playing short. He's got King Jack suited.
Oh my God.
And Yosh is in there. It was a $400 or $500
Yeah.
raise. Heads up, Yosh against Jesus. Jesus has position on Yosh. Queen 3 against King Jack. Neither player have a pair.
And he's already done with it.
More than I did.
Yeah, I think Jesus moved all in for the rest of his money.
Oh, he sure did.
He took it down.
I don't know.
So we'll do.
All right, George. Diablo's bet.
You want to take a small blind?
No, 5 minutes. Yeah, but I really don't want to do it again. I did it last week, and I don't like the way I do it.
You don't want to do it. Come on.
So many of the people are playing against the Washington.
What is that? Mine? What I mean, you want to do it? That will you happen. You don't want to do
So
it.
big blind is moved over to James Woods.
I'm talking to Bruce.
Jimmy, will you do an interview?
You know, I got
Bruce is
Bruce on
gone.
the list.
No, I did last night.
Hassan is gonna raise.
You can talk about how great I am.
But that will name up. Come on, I was making, I could be making some money.
Talk about me. About how great I am. What a great guy I am.
And we get a couple callers here.
Who told you to raise?
Jeez.
Oh,
Foul.
be careful. You
I
need
won the most gifts because I'm the greatest player in the world.
Three-way
Is
action.
that what I'm supposed to say?
Oh, man.
I'm going to win this hand. I laid it down.
You're handicap or something, man? We're gonna...
Ace, 8, 5, couple of diamonds.
You make a good lane?
$600 bet here by Michael.
Empezando.
Haven't heard a lot from him.
Que te vayas poniendo.
Yoshi's got 6-7. He's got an open-ended straight draw. He's going to call on the button.
Solo las manitas.
And we're heads up.
Comunícate, que
Turns a
es
5. Let's see if Mike shuts down now. He's going to check.
That's
Great. For 2 hours? Not even.
There kind of is a pattern to Mike Wu's play. Sometimes he'll fire once and then check.
He's done.
And
Yeah.
look at this. I think Yoshi's going to bet now. He's going to bet with the draw.
Had a couple of exciting hands.
That's
I think
$2,500.
enough to put Bruce in if he decides to call. I mean, not Bruce, Mike. In if he decides to make the call.
Yeah.
He does play good.
Well, he only has queen high here, so can't imagine that he's going to call.
No, I don't think so.
No, I know, but
I mean, last night, I was in raising. I hit the bottom.
This is going to be the last hand of the night, so it's been an enjoyable show.
I'll be happy to.
Ponte trucha.
Yep.
Straddle.
Cuando yo te mande, Chuy, es por algo.
Straddle.
Mandas algo, manda algo.
Diablo, I'm coming after
Okay.
you.
Me?
There we go. I don't
No,
think...
I got what you up, but you still coming after me.
I need
Here we
to
go.
get doubled
Last
up
hand.
again.
Last hand of the
So it
night.
looks like Bruce is limped in.
Oh,
Blind.
I love that, baby. And
He
then
limped
that
blind.
baby. I love it.
Okay.
I love
And
it.
yeah, I guess he's limped in blind.
They
Yeah.
left me already there. They
He's not
left me
straddling,
unfilled.
he's limping in.
Bruce, they left me unfilled. I already passed out of the tournament.
Oh, is it
Is
a
there
straddle?
200 there? I don't see 200 there. There we go. Okay, straddle 4 ways.
Ace 10 king here. Bruce is going to bet into the ace.
Yosh has a flush draw, and he's been
Yeah, he
doing
does.
well with these
He's got a
tonight.
jack there, too. I think it was a $400
Straight
bet
draw.
here.
All right, Bruce.
And he's
It's
going to make
okay,
the call.
let's go.
Hassan is still in there, but he's going to muck the deuce 4.
Check. Blind.
And Bruce is going to check blind, he said.
We'll see.
And the turn's a king. No help. Yosh takes the card. And the river's a 3.
I think it's the first time Yosh hasn't hit his flush.
And he takes it down. And that is going to do it for us tonight.
Yeah, you see, you need to suck out.
So,
Suck out me today too, all in
what a great night there. Of course, this was sponsored by Poker Blue. If you go to pokerblue.com and play 4 hours of 1-2 limit or higher, you can qualify for the big fat weekly free roll. And prizes with a couple of different WPT main events that you can qualify for if you win. Or you can play right here at Live at the Bike on this game or the World Series of Poker in 2006. So please join us again tomorrow night at 6 o'clock Pacific time. For everybody here in the booth and Shirley Rosario, good night, everybody, from Live at the
Good night.
Bike.
Most of the time I don't ask because I get
Come
mad.
on.
It's here. It's big. And it's closer than you think. It's not a tournament. It's what you don't see on TV. The cash is real. The stakes are high. They bet big. They win big. They lose big. High stakes live action poker. Live at the Bike. Watch it live on the web or play it if you dare at the Bicycle Casino right here in Los Angeles.